What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Elude Stalwart playing World of Warcraft Legion. This is the Lightforged Leveling mini-series, episode 33, and today I'm going to be playing Daydream, our level 64 paladin. Just got to Northrend about 4 levels, well actually 6 levels ago rather, because at level 58 you're able to actually swing on up to either Northrend or Burning Crusade. And I got Daydream straight out to Northrend, skipped Burning Crusade, and I've begun questing out that way. I've altered her Mog a little bit. I think I like it a lot better now. She looks a little bit more like a badass. We're going to go ahead and log in and finish leveling. I think outside of the Wormrest Temple, I'm going to do a little bit of questing there and some random dungeon finder. I can actually head out to Zul'Durek, and I'm kind of considering it, but I know with Wormrest Temple I can just get straight into some combat, and there's a pretty sweet quest chain. I think that if I can manage to get to it, I've never seen the Alliance equivalent of it, and I wonder if it's even still in the game. I know on the Horde side, if you quest in Dragonblight, you lead up to a quest chain to where you're trying to rescue Undercity from, I think it's an invasion from the Lich King or something like that, but it's a really epic quest chain, and it puts you in like a scenario where you have to rescue Undercity. And I've always wondered what the Alliance equivalent of that is, so I don't know exactly where the quest chain is, but the benefit of level scaling is I could just do all the quests in Dragonblight, and then eventually I'm sure I'll stumble across it. I think it has something to do with the Dragonflights. So right out of Wormrest Temples, I could do the Bronze, the Emerald, and the Ruby Dragonflight quests, and I think those will lead me to it. It ends up leading to the unlocking of the gate in Icecrown as well. So we open that can of worms that is Icecrown at the end of the quest chain as well. And I think Alexstrasza makes an appearance. So that'll be a pretty cool little quest chain slash scene that'll play out. And I'll be really excited to see what the Alliance version of all that is. I'm sure a lot of the quests are the same, but from the perspective of the Alliance, the way the story's told is often different than the way the story's told on the Horde side. Because you got like your different faction leaders and stuff like that. So like Alliance will have like Jaina Proudmoore and King Varian Wrynn. Actually, I think in Wrath of the Lich King he's kind of absent, but you end up seeing like Turellian, and like some of the big names in the story in Legion actually appear in these kind of quests back in Wrath of the Lich King even. So it'll be kind of cool for those of you who haven't seen those guys back then in Wrath to kind of see what their role is even before Legion came out. So yeah, as soon as this loading screen boss finishes, I managed to get a port from a mage in Stormwind to Dalaran, and I ended up going to the new Dalaran, the Legion Dalaran. So I have access to all the portals to all the major cities, and then I also have access to the portals beneath Dalaran, which is what's going to get me to the Wormrest Temple. Oh yeah, I was out here flexing on Krass's Landing on my Antorian Charhound. Still giving the game a little bit of time to buffer and load, it appears. Yeah, there it is. I like to run with my Elixir of Giant Growth when I'm on this thing, because it just looks that much more intimidating. And I thought my mace kind of matched it, so I'll probably be questing with this thing out. She's got some skulls and fell crystals hanging out the back of the treasure chest on the thing. Looks legit. One other thing I wanted to show you folks. Let's see if I can pull it up. I was when I was out here fixing my transmog right before I logged off yesterday, I hopped into Dalaran and thought this was pretty funny. I'll show you guys. Just give me a second. Check this out. Transform that, we'll fit it to screen. So in Dalaran yesterday, there was a woolly mammoth parade, and I took a selfie because I had unlocked the selfie camera of the woolly mammoth parade that's going on in the background. I thought that was pretty cool though. They were just all like walking and marching all the way around Dalaran's circle, and people were like, "What the hell's going on in Dalaran? What is this for?" And somebody replied, "You don't need an excuse to have a parade." So that was pretty neat. I like seeing community things like that where people just come together and do something random just out of nowhere. Oh, I'm not Horde. I'll get teleported out of there. My bad. My trader is showing. I always think that people is like, the jig's up. They know I'm not actually Alliance. It's like I'm betraying both factions really when I do that. Et tu, Brute? Okay, so let me clear my bags, and then we're going to hit up Wormrest Temple like I was saying. But in the meantime, we can just go ahead and jump into a dungeon finder queue. The random Lich King dungeons take a long time. Like, we're looking at a 40-minute queue, so that'll give us plenty of time to get our footing out there and in the quest chain and stuff. I want to get rid of all these soulbound items that aren't useful for tank or DPS. I also grabbed my healing mace, and I noticed my shield converts into a healing shield as well. So I got my holy set up, but I don't know if I'll actually take advantage of that just yet.
Death to the Legion.
But it's there. It's available. I can. Oh, actually, before we hop in this queue, let's do our Valentine's Day event boss. That'll be a pretty quick run to get our feet wet. Okie doke. I do need to hit the auction house. I don't know if I want to do that just yet, but I'll probably wait for my bags to fill a little bit more before I do that. So yeah, here's the Mog. She's got this mace here. This is the Lightborn Spire. I think it's a Firelands mace actually. And then pretty much the rest of the gear. Y'all probably seen these shoulders, like if you've ever quested in Wrath of the Lich King. And I actually think the chest, the gloves, and the boots are all part of the Wrath of the Lich King quest chain. And then her leggings are Cenarian Thicket leg plates. Of course, there's not very much plate on the legs. It's protecting the important parts though. We'll say that. Off I go then. I'm gonna hit up Wormrest Temple and just begin questing. This is actually a pretty long Valentine's Day boss queue actually. So we're back in Wrath of the Lich King content now. This temple right here at the tip of whoever the new Lich King, I forget the name of this guy, but we'll actually see this guy in the quest chain that I was describing earlier. But right here in front of his ring finger, that's Wormrest Temple on the map. That's where we're going to be spawning in. Right at the heart of Northrend. I'm kind of excited to see how this quest chain plays out. And we'll get introduced to who this guy is towards the end. I'll make sure to point him out if I can remember. Try to remind me. And when we hit the gate of Icecrown right here where this barrier is, we're going to unlock that gate and the Scourge is going to start pouring out. But the dragons are going to do something about that. They're like the first line of defense to keep the Scourge at bay. I was thinking about Zoldrak, but I've never really been a huge fan of Zoldrak. I would normally beeline it out there whenever I was questing back in Wrath as quickly as I could, just because Zoldrak had a very high drop rate for the first aid manual, so you could train your bandages up. But I find myself in this expansion, specifically in this Legion expansion, you need your band-aids a lot less. So first aid's a lot less necessary, I would say. And I guess that's just, maybe that's intentional because the classes are designed so well, but my opinion, it really kind of nullifies the need to go out of your way with professions whenever classes play this well. You used to have to like fill in those gaps with your profession items and stuff. Like as a warrior or a rogue, it's really good to have band-aids. And even as a rep pally, I remember wanting to carry band-aids because I would heal myself a few times and just be completely out of mana. And the same is still true, but I can heal a lot more often, I would say. Alright, we're looking for Lasher Seeds and Emerald Sky Talon Slain. I think this is the Lasher we're going to get the seeds from. I found out something yesterday too, as I was questing. I noticed that some of the gear I was getting as even a quest reward was starting to look more and more appealing, and I couldn't figure out why. And that actually brings up a good point that I gotta mention as well. I've actually opted out of the gear that I had on, and I'll control click it so you can see it. But I ended up putting on all this bind on account gear. This is the strengthened stockade pauldrons with the burnished breastplate of might and the burnished leg plates of might. Because the main stat for a paladin is haste, followed very closely by crit, but haste still wins out over crit. And the burnished of might set, I don't, the heirloom set, that's the burnished breastplate, burnished helm, burnished leg plates of might, those specifically come with haste. So I went and bought those, and before I even bought those, I realized the BOAs that I did have on, let me see if I can even show you, because I didn't upgrade them actually. So like this cloak here, the ripped sandstorm cloak, I'm not sure if I had this equipped, but I switched it out with the worn stone skin gargle cape because this one capped at 60 and I'm now 4 levels ahead of 60. So cloaks that I was getting from quest rewards were beginning to be upgrades. And even I think my necklace right now, it currently still is an upgrade because the stats are so good on it, crit and haste. But the neck that I did have on was also capped at level 60, so I upgraded that to be even a level 100. And the legs, the chest, and the shoulders that I was using was the polished leg plates of valor. You may recognize this stuff. This is what I was wearing before, the of valor set, and those are all capped at level 60. So after I left the vanilla land, all my gear started becoming less relevant. So I actually had to go back onto Nightmare and blow even more gold. I think now he's down to like 140k gold where he was at like 160k. So I spent like close to 10,000 gold, if not more, on buying the correct bind on account gear that had the stats that I actually wanted, and upgrading those with the tokens that you're able to buy to get them up to a higher item level. So now this stuff's going to scale to at least to level 90, or actually level 100, because I figured by the time I hit level 100 I'm going to be questing around the Broken Isles, so I'll get plenty of gear from that stuff. So yeah, I had to upgrade the bind on account gear there. It was starting to show its age. So now I should be a little bit stronger than I was for like a few levels there. And that'll be nice. That'll be nice to see kind of play out. Alright, we'll pop smoke from here. And I just realized I did that Valentine's Day boss before it actually reset. So I think we still have another hour before it even resets. So all that did was give me more perfume. Oh, and more love tokens. Okay. So that's how you do it. Okay. I seen people on the chicken mount. There's like a little plain strider mount you can get. It's a pink plain strider with like red hair. I mean black hair rather. And I could probably actually even look it up for you. Mounts plain strider? Oh no, it's not. I don't know what the name of it is. Love. Yeah, the Swift Lovebird. This thing. So that costs 270 heart-shaped tokens or love tokens. And we just saw from that what I just ran. I got, let's see, 5 love rockets. Okay, so never mind. Okay, so it's only the heart-shaped boxes that give you those love tokens. So never mind. I was gonna say that you could probably just keep running that and get a bunch of love tokens all together and buy that chicken like within a few days of constant grinding. But they designed it to where you gotta actually get the heart-shaped box in order to get those tokens out of it. So then it's a matter of, most likely, like as soon as the event started, a few days ago, last week, as soon as the event started Friday, if you did it every single day, I think you get about 5 to 10 tokens a day. Let's see, that's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 20, 30, 40, 50. So you can get 150 tokens if you do it every single day on one character. And there's got to be some way to get even more than that, because that still puts you shy. It's 270 for the bird, right? And we said 150. So you still need like 120 tokens somehow. And I think that's where those daily quests come into play. But yeah, that gives you an idea of like how much work people do in order to get that thing. As ugly as it is, I don't know why anybody would go out of their way to ride that thing. I'd much rather pull out my Antoran Charhound than a pink chicken. But if you like mounts and you want a reliable way to get one,
Well done.
that could be a good way to get one. And there's benefits to even just having like that mount. Whenever you look at the achievements, I think it's like when you've collected, I want to say like 100 or so unique mounts, you get the albino dragon mount. Albino. The albino drake. Okay, so it's only 50. When you get 50 unique mounts, you get the albino drake. So that's like a good dragon mount that you can pull out. And I've gotten more than 50, so I can show you. This is what that looks like. So yeah, once you collect 50 pets, you get this thing. And then I think whenever you collect even more, like 200 or something like that, you get even other mounts later on. Or achievements or tabards or whatever. Like the normal carrots on the stick for the achievement hunters. So yeah, that could be a good reason to want to grab that pink plain strider, I guess. That'd probably be the only reason why I would grab it. Definitely not to ride or show off. I mean, it's not even a flying mount, to my knowledge.
Well done.
Well done. You'll notice that I changed the sound of my quest completion. It was so weird for me whenever I was completing quests to hear work complete, like the orc. So I went into Dougie, and I can show you how I did that. Dougie config. You can go to questing, and then there's a quest complete sound. I actually made it a Draeneiaie female. I don't think they differentiate between Lightforged Draeneiaie females and Draeneiaie females. But yeah, that's how I made that different. Now we got the Plume of Illistros. Now we're going to fly over there and summon Illistros, if I'm pronouncing that right. Illistros. That's this guy here. And he used to kick our ass back in the day, but since then they've made most of these quest mobs non-elite. I'm going to put my back to this wall here because I think he punts. I'm going to call down Light's Judgment. Daydream gives coordinates to Grand Artificer Romuel for a tactical strike on Alistros, the Verdant Keeper. That's so cool. The flavor text. The flavor text. I may even remove Roar, actually. I like that she goes, hey! Got a belt. See, this belt is actually the blue pattern for this chest and gloves and boots that I'm wearing. So there's like the red pattern version and then there's the blue pattern version. So if you're interested in this set, it's just questing in Wrath of the Lich King in different zones. I think the different zones represent different colors. Alright, so we did the Emerald Sanctum or the Emerald Draeneiaie. We're going to go up to the, I think this is the, I wanted to say bronze, but I think the black drakes are invading here as well. We may hit up Winterguard Keep, but I'm actually going to actively avoid Winterguard Keep because I think it's just the dragon quests that send you up to the gate up here to Ice Crown. So I'm going to focus specifically on the dragon quests and see if I can get to that chain and show y'all what the Lich King, the current reigning Lich King, what his character was before he became the Lich King. Of course, whenever you were back in Wrath, before you actually defeated Arthas, Arthas was the Lich King. And then you find out that after you defeat Arthas, that there has to be someone wearing the crown in order to control all the Scourge. Because if it wasn't for the Lich King being there in the first place, like, the Scourge would have no direction. It'd be a lot like a Hydra, like once you cut off the head of the snake, like 2 or 3 more appear. It's kind of that idea. Oh look, it's future me. Why am I still wearing the Wrath of the Lich King art? Hey there, Daydream, don't be alarmed. It's me, you from the future. I'm here to help. Heads up, here they come. I'll help as much as I can. Just keep them off the hourglass. I'm trying. It'd be cool if they put future you in like the top tier gear in the game. Even if it was like the top tier gear in Wrath, that would be kind of cool. Why am I so much shorter in the future? You see, why am I so tiny? Future you doesn't have the elixir of giant growth equipped. So like, I was running with a polearm yesterday, and I noticed the polearm attack animation, she kind of like holds the polearm off in one hand on one side, and then her other hand's kind of like out like a caster, almost like she's getting ready to cast a spell with a staff. And this animation here, I'll show you after I kill this guy. Whenever you're in attack mode here, she holds the two-hander with 2 hands like that. I like that stance better. She's like about to knock someone in the face with their mace. Nice mace to the face. I should jump in the dungeon queue, come to think of it. So the Burning Crusade queue and the Lich King queue are about the same, I've noticed. So I'm going to queue specifically for the Lich King dungeons because I enjoy those more. And I noticed as I level up, I'm getting access to more and more of those. So there's more of a chance that I'll get a group. Hey, future me, we're the same size again. It's because the future me had the elixir of giant growth wear off. Come on. We're trying to protect this hourglass of eternity. We're fixing the timeline. It's like the Black Dragonflight came and they messed up the timeline somehow. So Chromie's like, y'all need to go fix this. I actually have somebody in my guild named Chromie, spelled the right way. I was surprised by that. but kind of annoyed at the same time because the Chromie in my guild is a priest.
Well done.
And I thought that was kind of whack because Chromie is obviously a mage. She says, listen, I'm not supposed to tell you this, but there's going to be a party that you're invited to. Whatever you do, do not drink the punch. Look, Daydream, the hourglass has revealed Nozdormu. Farewell, Daydream. Keep us alive and get some better equipment. Okie doke. Oh, look, it's Nozdormu, the Lord of Time. He's fixing the timeline. He's like, nah, y'all ain't messing with this. What's interesting is that's a new skin. It used to be, that guy looked like the albino Drake. He came out looking like this. Like, well, actually, he looked like the bronze Drake when he came out. So yeah, he looked like a big bronze Drake whenever he came out in Wrath of the Lich King. But they've revamped all these skins for the dragons and stuff, so they look a little bit more fancy now. And the big one, like Nozdormu, that guy, Nozdormu, he should look more OP. He should look like more like Alex Straza would, because he's like one of the elder dragons. Here's Chromie. She's obviously a mage. She's like manipulating the timeline and stuff. That's like an arcane mage all over.
What means you?
Lord of the Lashers.
Good luck.
Alright, so we did the green one and the bronze one. We still need to head up northwest and do the ruby one, or the obsidian one. I wanted to do all three of them and then come and turn them in, but it was along the way, so I decided to just do those two. But I'm actually going to head out of my way a bit more, do this one and catch it up to the third stage. So whenever I get back to the Wormrest Temple, I can just hit bam, 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 and then do that again. I don't know. In my head it makes sense, so that's what we'll do. I thought we were supposed to go down here to do the red one, but maybe that's a little bit later. I think that might be the next step of the obsidian here. Yeah, the Ruby Dragonshire. I forget how I get to that. But I will. I will get to that. So level scaling's been treating me very well. I went and upgraded my selfie camera MK2 yesterday in Stormwind. I think y'all saw that. I can't remember if I showed y'all. This selfie camera, it's like you take a picture like the one I showed you with the woolly mammoth march, but when you do it in specific quote-unquote places of power, you get backgrounds. So right now I have like a choice between 3 different filters. One of them's like the book quest in Legion. When you see Queen Ashara and you go down and you do like the mage training quest chain, and you got to get books off the bookshelf, and you actually get sucked into the book and you fight a dragon. It's got that sepia tone to it. That's one of the filters. Another filter you could put on is like a death filter, like when you're dead. And then there's another one that's like shadow or void or something. I can't remember. I'll show it to you in a second. This will be a good spot. Check it out. So you pull out your selfie camera. She starts doing duck faces and poses and stuff like that. And then you could do the sketch filter, where it looks like a sketch drawing. She'll like keep making default faces and stuff. You can put, this is the death filter, so it looks like you're in the spirit zone taking a selfie rather. And then this is the black and white filter, so everything goes black and white. So yeah, and then you get the background filter whenever you collect backgrounds. And from what the quest giver said, for these background filters, you have to activate the selfie cam and actually take a selfie, and you do that with the number 1 button here to take a selfie. And then when you do that, you can collect certain special backgrounds. I'm sure there's like a quest chain or a guide or something like that that explains the places that you could use that. But I have yet to discover any background filters. And that whole selfie quest chain just starts in the in Stormwind, out by where the Pandaren representatives are, kind of off in that direction. The Allied races start right there, in that spot where the selfie camera quest chain starts. Alright, Serenar, what are we doing here? I'm trying to decide which I'm more surprised, that you actually came to the aid of the Black Dragon, or that you're still in one piece after speaking with Nallis. Her words drip venom, but I suppose the Wormrest can keep even our kind in check sometimes. Yeah, the Black Dragon flight, for anybody that doesn't know, they're notoriously evil. It's just the armies of the Red Dragonfly massed around her. Alright, I played my part in destroying entire civilizations. To have to lower myself to dealing with the wretched cult of the damned disgusts me. No one to save you. Well, spare no one. That's the quest details. Outside lowly necrolyzer skeleton servants shame my land with their presence. Slaughter them all. So that's fitting that the Black Dragonflight will give us a quest along those lines. No place to run. They're drawing power from the bones of my dead brothers. I have no love for the cult, but I'm baffled at their audacity. There will be no mercy shown for them, not that I ever would have anyways. Ensure that they have no place to flee when the slaughter starts. Place a destructive ward at the end of the path leading out of the shrine, where the road starts to give way to snow. Defend it until it's fully charged. He's pretty much saying, block their exit and slaughter them. It's kind of dark. I think we need to go deeper in this cave. The audacity of these guys. How could they be so audacious? Kind of interested to see how this haste gear plays out. Crusader Strike's now at a 3.9 second recharge rate. Bladed Justice is at a 9 second recharge. Our Judgment's at a 10 second. I guess that's good. That's appropriate. Okay, so I don't need to go deeper in this cave just yet. Let me double back and head out. This is pretty much the RFC dungeon, this design. You'll notice a lot of the cave systems in WoW are like the same template, but used in different ways, like decoratively and populated and stuff. They're populated with different mobs and they're decorated different ways, but it's basically the same layout, which I guess is cool because you never really get lost in them. Or you do initially and then you figure out how to not get lost pretty quickly. Seems fitting that while working for the dragons we pull the Charhound out. Charhound's kind of like a dragon dog. I don't know if you've been very much into like any of the mythology or anything around most cultures actually, but in like Greek mythology, I think Hades has a pet dog named Carabus or Cerberus, depending on how you want to pronounce it, and that's the multi-headed dog that guards the gates of hell. And what's interesting about the name Carabus or Cerberus is they're actually names derived from older languages that basically ends up translating to spot. So Hades' dog that guards the gates of hell is essentially named Spot. He just picked like a regular default dog name. But usually if you'll see like multi-headed dogs in this game, like I remember in the Draenei starting area when I made Quartz Fist, there was that white dog. His name was Carabas. Actually, I could be mistaken by Spot. It could even mean Spike, I think, if I remember correctly. So Spot or Spike, I just remember it's a default dog name. Like what a normal person would name their dog. Carabas translates to... Aha, here it is. Behind the mean and naming of Cerberus, or Cerberus. It says, Latinized from Greek, Carabas, or Keberos, which possibly meant spotted. In Greek myth, this was the name of the three-headed dog that guarded the entrance to Hades. So yeah, a little bit of the more you know there. Reading Rainbow. This is where I got it from. This is behind the name. And this is where it talks about Carabas meaning spotted. So yeah, you could draw a parallel to that in Antorus whenever you're fighting the two dogs in the raid Antorus. Because the Antoran Charhound is like the fire one, and then there's a second dog that you fight that's a shadow one. And actually I can even show you what I'm talking about here, come to think of it. If we go to Legion Raids in Antorus, this is where I got the dog. The Fellhound of Sargeras. So this is one of them here. The Antoran Charhound came from him. But there's a second one, and I guess maybe it's whenever you go on Heroic, or maybe Mythic. Oh man, I guess not. Where does the shadow one come from then? I'm curious now. Cause there's this version. You see how he's like shadowy looking? I want to know. I'm curious. Come a little closer. Let's call down Light's judgment. Okay. I want to see. Let's go back to our browser. We're going to say Antoran Charhound, but shadowy. Autocorrect, Antoran Charhound, the Gloomhound. Okay, so wait. Antoran Gloomhound. Alright, so we grabbed the spelling there. We'll close our browser now. And we're going to put that in our collections mounts journal. We'll paste it. The Antoran Gloomhound. You get this one from Glory of the Argus Raider. Category Dungeons and Raids. Okay, so Glory of the Argus Raider. Glory of the Argus Raider. In order to get the shadow version of the Antoran Charhound, you have to complete the Antorus, the Burning Throne raid achievements listed below. Hard to kill, Warmonger, don't sweat the technique. We're going to track that for a second. Go back. Go back. Track. Alright, so now we won't lose it. Okay, so hard to kill. Defeat Iminar, the Soul Hunter in Antorus, the Burning Throne, right after triggering every trap on the bridge on normal difficulty or higher. Okay. As if that stuff isn't hard enough as it is, but you can do that at normal difficulty. So those of you that are already rating like the Mythic and the Heroic version, and you know, actually maybe it might just be the Mythic guys that are able to do this. because I hear that the okay, this is the bronze one. Oh, this is what I need. Okay, so we're gonna protect this ward here. But those of you that have Mythic on farm for sure, I doubt anybody has it on farm yet, come to think of it. But maybe if you have normal on farm, and maybe if you have heroic on farm, you could probably do these achievements with your raid. And that's the first one, hard to kill. And then Together We Stand. Together We Stand, you have to defeat Varamithras in Antorus, the Burning Throne, normal difficulty or higher, without triggering Alone in the Darkness. Okay, so I wonder how that works. Adventure guide. It said... trying to remember the Iminar and overview. It says without triggering Alone in the Darkness. Just give me a second. We're gonna find this out. Sleep canisters, stasis traps, tanks, shock lance conflagration. Where does Alone in the Darkness come from?
Well done.
Oh, we're on Mythic. Let's go back. Alright, this thing's fully charged now. Alone in the Darkness. Triggers traps such as Stasis Trap and Blast. It actually doesn't say though. Like, how do you know when you've triggered Alone in the Darkness? But yeah, I'm sure like you'd probably be able to figure these out as you go. But if I remember correctly, whenever you're doing these type of achievements, you pretty much get infinite tries if you're able to reset the fight. So most people, like what I did in order to get my red proto drake, proto, I did this one. That's the volcanic stone one. Glory of the Hero. This one here. So in order to get these achievements, a lot of these were just a matter of doing the fight and then realizing if you weren't going to get it done, that you just had to wipe. You had to like run and stand in the poo, or pretty much not kill the boss, reset it, and then go try again. And that's how I got the red proto drake. I imagine the raid versions work that way, but you're probably a lot more hard pressed to coordinate 25 people than whenever I was doing that heroic one. There was only 5 of us, and I think even after a while, when we went to do it, it was just 3 of us. I think it was like me, my buddy, and his wife that went back and did those. Some of them you actually needed more people for, so those were a little bit harder to do, because then you had to get 2 other people, 2 other strangers to cooperate with you in order to get it done. But most of the time your guildies will be able to help you get that type of stuff done. But yeah, those things, those type of achievements are kind of a pain. It takes a little while to get them all, unless everybody just knows what they're doing. A lot of the times you'll find out really quickly, like, who understands the fight and who doesn't. Like, a lot of people won't say anything if they don't understand what's going on, and that's generally the problem in like the larger raids, I imagine, is you have a lot more potential for that to happen in a larger raid, where you're going to be dealing with people who, like, a lot of those achievements, you have to have every single person understand what needs to happen. And some people, they'll be quiet. They'll just be like, oh yeah, let's do it. And then like you won't find out that they don't know what's going on until your 3rd or 4th wipe, or your 3rd or 4th attempt. And then you got to actually start paying attention to who's not doing the mechanics right. And that's what actually Details is really good at. And even Warcraft logs, if you have somebody logging the encounter, you can actually find out who those 1 or 2 people are. And what's cool about it is you can see the fight almost play by play, second at a time, being played back to you, and you can find out what each person in the raid's doing. And when you find that person or those people that don't know what's going on, I think a really good guild or a really good raid leader would just whisper that person and be like, hey, are you having trouble? Give them the opportunity to be like, yeah, I actually don't know what's going on, but I was embarrassed or something. Or even if they don't do that, you can whisper that person and be like, hey bud, just make sure that you don't stand in the poo, because the thing on the ground kills you. There are like less overt ways of letting people know in a subtle way that they can be better at mechanics. Some raid leaders don't care. They're all about like saving time. It's like the Steve Jobs mentality, where it's like, look, you don't have to work here. And it's actually, well, what would be a good way of describing it? Like some raid leaders will behave as if tough love is the only way. But I don't know, like, I've actually not been on the raid scene in a while. I'm kind of curious. I'm interested in trying to get into some raids, but it seems like the community at the moment, as far as like in-game progression and raids and stuff like that go, it seems like the community is very diffuse. It seems like there are less places that you can get into a guild that's just concentrating on that stuff. Because so many of the guilds now with this, like the add-on, like Apotheosis here, like a lot of the times whenever I'm starting a character new on a server, or even just leveling and questing, I'll get these random auto invites. And you could usually tell it's like an auto invite when not even a minute into creating your character and logging into the game, you're getting spammed for a guild invite. Or even more so, like on this guy, or on this server actually, you'll see I have a priest in this guild. That was actually the first character I made. Where is he? Twisted Void should be in this guild. I think I got Twisted Void up to like level 30, come to think of it. I'm gonna have to find that. Yeah, Twisted Void 38. So within a few minutes of logging into the game on Twisted Void, I got an invite just randomly from Apotheosis. And I think they usually nowadays they come with flavor text where it's like, hey, are you tired of just trade chat? Do you want to add green chat to your experience? Well, join Apotheosis and we'll give you that extra chat experience, or something. Like they'll add like some kind of flavor text, something along the lines of that. Or, are you tired of PvPing by yourself? Are you tired of doing dungeons by yourself? Well, join our guild and we promise to run with you and stuff. And a lot of the times those type of guilds end up being like throwaway guilds. Like they're actually just that, like I was saying with the first advertisement, where they're just an extra chat on your screen. And that's kind of an unfortunate departure from what guilds used to be. Like, it used to be you joined a guild for a community. Like, you were like-minded individuals with the same focus in the game. Like, you would join a PvP guild, and in a PvP guild, you would almost always expect to do battlegrounds together. Or when arenas were implemented, you would almost always expect to get on a pretty decent arena team that actually took it seriously. But now we very much have a community of I want to say like dilettantes, like we have different communities of people that are jacks of all trades. Like they do a little bit of PvP, a little bit of mythics, a little bit of raiding, some LFR queuing, and maybe a rated battleground every once in a while. But like none of them are focused enough to really get good at any one of those things. So you end up just being in a guild that's just kind of like meh or okay or not that great at any one of those 12 different things that they all seem to do. And That's a serious departure from the way guilds used to function. It used to be like you would apply to get into a guild instead of a guild going out of its way to just invite any old buddy that they see. Or it used to be that you ran dungeons, right? Like, and maybe even after the looking for dungeon thing was implemented, but it's a lot harder, I guess, in dungeons, because since you have all this cross-server kind of grouping that happens, a lot of the times you get in dungeons with people that aren't even from the same server as yourself, or the same couple of server cluster as yourself. And that's kind of sad too, because it doesn't matter who you're running with at that point. It's almost like anonymous. So I mean, you could be conversational and talk to the people and maybe even enjoy running with them. And if you have friends on your BattleNet ID tag list, then you could offer to like add somebody as your real ID friend and then group with them later. But that used to be what the guild's function was. It used to be like, hey, I see you in like the same level range as I am often, and we run the same dungeons often, so why don't you join my guild and we'll level and progress together. And I think a guild that's created on like that kind of idea, or from that standpoint, is a lot more successful and tight-knit and like more of a community than this random spam invite kind of creation method that seems to be. And it's ironic that I'm bringing this up as I quest through Wrath of the Lich King, because if I'm not mistaken, Wrath of the Lich King was the expansion that implemented that system. The system I'm referring to is like the guild perks. So like you can see, if you go to perks, your guild achievements, and these are achievement points that have been accrued by people leveling and questing together and progressing in a guild aspect. Like, look, here are the blue pants. I've already got these pants, I think. I might grab the cape, because the neck's kind of boo-boo, and I just want to make sure that I have that cape variant. But yeah, since guild perks were implemented, you get things like mount up. You get 10% increased movement speed whenever you're out in the world questing. Not in battlegrounds and arenas though. Hasty Hearth, so you get reduced cooldown on your hearth by 15 minutes. So not only do you get incentives for recruiting people to give yourself more guild achievement points and knocking out objectives that give you these perks, but you have incentive as a player to just join any random guild so you can get access to these. Like, I almost always like to join a guild whenever I'm leveling an alt, because it's kind of nice whenever you're dead to be able to run with 10% increased movement speed and resurrect with 50% more health. And it's kind of nice being able to like send mail to other people in your guild and that arrive instantly. And it's kind of nice to have a faster mounted movement speed and a quicker hearth. The mobile banking is less, in my opinion, it's less appealing to have mobile banking because it's just your guild chest. But if you're a coordinated guild, then mobile banking makes a lot of sense. Like, oh, you got like the alchemists that have tab 3, and they only put like the most relevant best mats in the alchemy tab, or they put the guild's raid buffs in the alchemy tab. And maybe there's like a guild alchemist kind of like a team leader that makes sure that everybody gets the potions and the elixirs distributed before raid progression fight or something. So that actually does, the guild chest one does kind of make sense for guild perk, but those other ones like lobby leveling perks and stuff like that, while useful, they're kind of subversive in a sense that it doesn't really create community, because people are incentivized, even if you're not really a cohesive group, to still clump themselves into any old guild so they can get access to those perks so they can level faster. So yeah, I mean, there are other guild achievements like you can actively work on. Most guilds that have ever been worth their salt in their time, at some point was a coordinated raid group, or maybe had a coordinated couple of raid teams, and maybe they did a couple of those guild achievements to unlock like the, what is it, the Shadow Ashes of Alar. I forget what that's called. Excuse me. There's Ashes of Alar, right? But there's like a shadow version, and I think it's like if you raided with your guild and you got like specific raid achievements during, I think, Kata, I want to say. I don't know, I'm a little out of my depth on that stuff because I didn't really care at the time, and I still kind of don't care, but there should be things that incentivize the guild to do harder content together, I think. So that's a step kind of in the right direction, but another thing that Wrath the Lich King did that was kind of like, I think it was quickly removed, but back in Wrath you would just jump into any gold guild because one of the perks was for every quest that any player in the guild completed, a portion, like 5% of that gold reward went into the guild bank. So you'd often see your guild's guild bank, let's see, have like a storage of gold, which made sense because you get gold for gold repairs. And I still don't know if it works that way. I'm not sure if it still works that way, but like you'd often see a guild of like 500 and something people or whatever the max is, and a huge amount of bank account in that guild. And I think that was mostly for the summoning somebody here, trying to figure out what I need to do. Okay, yeah, he's mad. But yeah, so what you would have then is people would go out of their way to create a guild, and the only reason why they would have the guild was for their own personal bank account. Because a lot of people didn't know this. A lot of people didn't know that quests and like quest completion and progression in the game that was done by everybody in the guild was actually feeding the guild bank. So the guild master would end up being a very rich man who would then use his guild bank, and the people that played the economy in the auction house caught on to that as well. And that's the way a lot of these people got their start in like the gold making was they'd make a trash throwaway bank guild and invite every single lobby noob that joined the game within the first few seconds to their guild. So as them lobbies leveled up, you know, they were contributing to the funds. I mean, it's a good idea for like repairs and stuff like that, to give like certain members in your guild, like certain ranks in your guild, access to the repair function. So whenever you go talk to the repair vendor, you could actually, like, since I'm a member of this guild, I get access to like 10 gold worth of repair a day. So then whenever my gear's all crap, I don't have to actually spend my gold on my repairs. I can actually spend the guild's gold on my repairs, because I'm contributing to the guild's funds by being a loyal and faithful member that's leveling in that guild. So I guess in theory it makes sense to have a function like that, but it ended up being very quickly abused and used in that other way that I described earlier. Which is sad, which is unfortunate, but like some of this stuff like matters in ways that you can't foresee, I guess, whenever you're implementing it into the game. But yeah, I guess my point with all this is I'd very much like to see a guild that's more of a community, less of a green chat, like a green anonymous, like I don't know these other people in my guild, but sometimes I can ask them questions just like I'd ask somebody in the zone, or somebody in the dungeon, or somebody in trade chat, like how to do something. So I'd like to see more of a, I don't know, like I have no idea, like I don't, what do you guys think? Like what do you think would be something that would be beneficial for the game to implement that would drive more of the community and player base back to like that old cohesion we used to have? I mean, it's amazing that that was even the case to begin with, because if you remember, guilds didn't have perks back then. It was just a way for you to quickly coordinate dungeon runs. Like, I don't really know if they had any other purpose in that. I remember, like, back in vanilla, when I was on my Shadow Priest Arthur, vanilla Shadow Priest, like, you can imagine what my life was like. But in the guild that I was in, I actually joined a guild called, I think it was called Reckoning. And I used to think that was an awesome name, because later on when I made a paladin, like, I realized where that name came from. And like, Reckoning's a badass pally talent you used to be able to spec into. It's like every time you get hit, there's a chance that on when you get hit that you'd get 5 stacks of a buff called Reckoning. And what those basically were extra attacks on your swing. So you would attack, and then when Reckoning would proc, you get an extra attack, and then you'd attack and get an extra attack, and you do that 5 times. So really quick, you'd be like boom, 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 like nail something down, almost like Wind Fury used to act. But anyways, that Reckoning guild that I used to be in, we would group up randomly. Like I think once a week we had to participate in a guild meeting. And this is back when like Ventrilo and Mumble and TeamSpeak and like these type of communications platforms, kind of like Discord is now. Back then you used to have to pay for a server. So usually you had somebody in the guild that paid for your Ventrilo server or your TeamSpeak server, so y'all could hop into voice comms and like coordinate during a raid. But there was less of that, because you know you had to pay and you had to actually be doing something that warranted the need for like voice comms. So most guilds, if you do see them have guild meetings nowadays, they'll all just hop in Ventrilo or TeamSpeak, or in this case, like nowadays, most people just use Discord. So you'd hop into Discord for the guild meeting, and like once a week they'd be like, alright guys, so this is what the guild's doing right now. We're progressing in the raids. We need to boost our lobies up so they can help participate in these raids, so we can take out the progression boss that we're on in Antorus or whatever. That's the way it works now, but the way it used to work was in this Reckoning guild, for example, we would all meet in Stormwind, and I forget the name of the tavern, but we would all actually, like, and this wasn't an RP guild, like I never knew about RP guilds back then, but we would go to Old Town, or maybe it was the Dwarven district, and there was an inn in Old Town that we would all go and sit in. And we would actually go and physically bring our characters to, or digitally physically bring our characters to that inn in Old Town, and we'd all take a chair, and like the guild leader would stand up in front of the bar, and he would tell everybody, like, if I can get your attention, please, everybody look this way. And he would start talking in raid chat, because we'd all be in a raid. And people that were talking kind of offline, like outside of raid chat, were allowed to talk in say chat. So like you could just like /s say something, and then y'all would chat out and say chat while he gave us instructions and like told us what we were doing in raid chat. So, and like if he needed to get everybody's attention, like back then you could do the raid warning. You'd type in /RW look, like everybody pay attention. It would like announce to everybody like something important. And like that used to be how our guild stayed like close as a community. And what was cool about that was like it was completely unnecessary, because we had green chat. Like you could just talk in green chat to your guild, right? But I guess the problem with the green chat is you're seeing disembodied text from God knows who. Like you don't really actually see the character that's saying the thing. Like at least now with LVUI you can call out people's specific names, and you can get like for example, Gratz Recluse. So since I typed Recluse's name, whenever he got the achievement Halls of Lightning, it actually highlighted his name in his class color. So that's a little bit more personalization, but like in the Reckoning Guild, in that situation, whenever we were sitting inside of the inn to give our guild meeting and updates and stuff like that, you actually got to put a face or an avatar to the character that you'd always talk to in guild chat, so you'd actually get to know more of the people that you used to play with. And what was really cool about that was like you could see their progression in gear, and like some of them would even have like their RP outfit that they would throw on. And I have no idea what I'm doing here. I need to focus a little bit more. But like you could actually put a name to a face, or a face to a name, at least with that. Throw at a reanimated frost giant. This isn't the right guy. Okay, what am I doing here? Weakened reanimated frost worm slain. Okay, so this guy. Okay, I'm calling one of these down. Alright, my bad. Got a little off track there for a second. Here it is. There we go. So that's going to make him non-elite and pissed off at me, if it ever catches up to him. Boom, there it hit. But now he's like miles away and doesn't care. Damn. Okay. Let me get this guy. But yeah, like that used to be a guild. Like that used to be, whenever I think of a guild, I remember Reckoning. Because we would also do events. We would go out and we would head out to like the Badlands or the Burning Steppes or something. Most of us, I think the Badlands was a good spot because you can get like level 40s involved. And that's usually about like when you knew a character was like gonna be leveled up. Like when they made it past that level 30 range, they started getting to like level 40. You knew that character was, somebody was invested in that character, because back in vanilla it used to take a long time to level. And if you put 40 levels into a character, you could be sure that you were planning on dinging him all the way up to 60. But like we'd hit up the Badlands out by Kargath, but we were Alliance back then. And there were some dragons. They were just like these red dragons that would fly around the zone. They were like elites, I think. And the guild master, the guild officers, and like the co-GM, they would all run out there, and they would tell people to meet them out there if they were interested in doing something. And we would actually just go kill dragons. Like we weren't looking for drops. We weren't looking for like a quest that was getting completed or anything like that. Like we just wanted to do something together as a guild, so we'd come up with these objectives like this, where we would just make up our own quest almost. And damn, this Spellfinger, whenever these guys aren't dealt with, they tend to wipe your party. But yeah, like that to me used to be like, that was what a guild was. Like a group of people that did shit together. The Shadow Blast. Let's stun this guy. Looks like me and the Rogue are the only ones that really knew about these mechanics. So yeah, I mean, it was quite a bit of a tangent just to say that I think guilds are in a bad way right now, and they could use some work. So, give my lay on hands to the Death Knight there. Dispel this poison for myself. We don't need this Purge Walker fighting people. But yeah, I mean, I wish there was a way. I mean, guilds still have the capability and ability to be that, but like most people just join, they want the perks. Like that's really what they join the guild for. And like most of the time guild masters just want like more bodies for their raid. I think Shadow Blast is okay. It hits really hard, but Shadow Sickle is the one that sucks. Let's interrupt this one since we only got one guy now. These Spellfingers have to die. I don't know if they realize that. Luckily, I think me and the Rogue are on it, so that's okay. I don't think we have to worry about those Shadow Sickle dudes anymore. Unless we unnecessarily pull extra. Alright, I'm done with this reputation, so I'm going to delete that tabard. I no longer need it. Just bopped our healer back there. You are probably wondering what bop means because now it's hop. Pally has the number 3 button here, Blessing of Protection. Oh! Oh! I stand corrected! They changed Blessing of Protection back to Blessing of Protection! It was Hand of Protection for a while. And you know what? Blessing of Sacrifice is the same too. Here. Speaking of blessings, let's give our tank Blessing of Kings. For a while it was hands. Like you would have Hand of Protection and Hand of Freedom. But they changed them back to blessings. So that sound, you hear this little fanfare go off whenever I get a new transmog. So now I have another item that transmogs. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. That add-on's called All the Things. You'll see this little box pop up here in the top left. I got it for transmogs. Like I wanted to be able to find matching transmogs. Here, I'm gonna taunt this guy and LOS him. Come around this corner here. There you go. Yeah, Death Knight caught on there. We're gonna help our party out in more ways than one. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to see a guild be that again, but part of the problem currently is people don't expect guilds to be that anymore. And people that make the guilds, they don't try to make it that way anymore. Now it's just an extra chat, which is essentially what it's come down to. I'm hoping they remedy that with Battle for Azeroth. It's not anything that I've heard in the news or the announcements or anything like that. The most I've heard, like this is just my imagination wandering from the communities, the quote-unquote communities feature that's going to be implemented. Like, in some way, they're going to try to give, and I think it's the communities is probably more of a focus to people who stream or make videos. That was the kind of inkling that I got from when they mentioned that. But I actually don't know. I'm just trying to think of what would be some cool things that they could possibly do that's centric around communities and the features that are going to be coming to the game in Battle for Azeroth. And guilds, I think, is a big thing. It's a big thorn in my side, since like I've seen what they could be or what they used to be, and I've witnessed the transition to what they've become and what they are now. And it's not really like, it doesn't bother me, it doesn't make the game less playable, but it's just kind of unfortunate. It's kind of sad that it's that way now. They almost expect you to coordinate more of that type of stuff outside of the game, when it actually used to be a huge part of the game. Okie doke. It's kind of cool how you walk by these priests, and if they're casting Shadow Word Mend or Shadow Mend, I forget what it's called, but you hear that kind of whispering in the background, and it's like Latin, so it's like stas 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 stas, and it's like, oh shit, what's happening? But it's actually just the priest healing. I've really enjoyed like the cosmetic and appearance updates that they've been implementing. For example, like animations, casting animations, battle animations, that type of stuff's been really nice and neat. And I'm actually looking very much forward to seeing more of that type of stuff. This next expansion is supposed to be very highly cosmetic. I'm gonna bubble out of that because I don't like no vampire sucking my blood. And this is what the pallies have the bubble for. Get off me. Don't come near me. Alright, good. I feel naked. I don't have any buffs on right now. Dingus. That's a dingus. Need to put our perfume on at least. That's unlocked Sethic Halls. The Halls of Stone. What's cool about the leveling thing here? Oh, we got Greater Blessing of Wisdom! Yes! Thank God! Okay. So when the heals comes up, I usually like to give the healer this one. But, you know, actually, I could give the tank the same thing. The healer benefits more so from it because it gives mana and health. Where is our healer at? There's our healer. The tank's pulling without the healer, which isn't something that you would normally recommend. But, let's stun the healer here. Don't know why the tank thought it'd be a good idea to pull without the healer. There you go. The healer's, I mean, he's doing okay. That's the second time I've seen him use this big cooldown. So that means he knows that he has it and he ain't afraid to use it. And he's picking really good opportunities to use it. Congrats. Come a little closer, my darling. Oops. I was like, why am I slowed this long? I toggled walk on. When I was trying to type grats, I must have hit my period button. That's my walk button. Oh, whoops. My bad, yo. Oh, that was in a party. Grats. On 70. I said grats in guild. Thought it was one of the guildies. Lol. I told my guildies grats. I was like, grats to the guildies. But it was actually the party member. The tank actually hit 70. It's a pretty big deal though. 70, that's nothing to be frowned upon. Who among you is devoted? Put a slow on him. That don't work. We can stun him. That don't work. Looks like it's just a race. At least we know for the next guy, we'll save those global cooldowns on just damaging abilities. You wouldn't think that 0.5 seconds for your moves to refresh is a big deal, but it is very much so a big deal. Your damage is measured in per second. And if you're missing half of that second, then you're doing very much less damage. Very much less damage. That's right, you heard me. Zekurion Sargeras has earned the achievement The Old Kingdom. So I guess he's ran this before and not killed that boss. I'm surprised we don't have to go get the elemental mushroom boss guy. They've kind of trimmed the fat and tightened up the dungeon a little bit. I'm wondering today. Everything's on, right? Yeah, we're on. We're still live. Good. 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 Off I go then. Off I go then. Maybe my rambling about guilds put a lot of people off today. Normally I got like 4 or 5 people watching, but the chat's kind of dead today. I wonder too, like, maybe y'all could leave a comment. Are y'all interested in seeing the chat from the people that hop in while I'm live? Got another lay on hands, we'll just feed that to the tank. It's a little disconcerting sometimes whenever I feed a lay on hands into somebody and they don't get maxed out with their health. But then I have to remind myself, like, he's level 70 and I'm level 65 now. So he has way many more hit points than I do. Oh, that fear dough. The tank thinks it's Wrath of the Lich King. Which is kind of ironic because this is Wrath of the Lich King, but we're actually in the Legion release. So Wrath of the Lich King, you'll hear me say that sometimes because it was in Wrath of the Lich King that tanks were... It was either that the tanks were invincible or close to it, or the healers were so good that the tanks were invincible. So it was not very uncommon to see your tank run in and pull like a third of the dungeon each pull and just AoE blast everything down. I think back then tanks had this mechanic called Vengeance, and it was something like, for the amount of hit points you have, that's how much attack power you have. Or it was either that, or for the amount of damage you take, you get attack power. But either one it was, like, I can't remember which exactly it was, but either one of those that it used to be made the tanks pretty much like all powerful and unstoppable. These are the shoulders that I have on right now. This is where you get that Mog from this quest. The red hue spiky shoulders. Thank you. But yeah, we're gonna find out who this guy is. Gotta remember that. I want to see if I can get it done today. Alright, we're gonna re-queue. I see this thing pop up and I want to close it. I want to make sure. Maybe I'll actually take this add-ons configs and tell it not to show me every time I hit a zone. How could I do that? Filters maybe? Mounts, items, weapons, yada yada. Show achieve artifact, instance ID tier, ignore all filters. Remove sound, fanfare, show missing items, collections, minimap buttons, progress, container. Show all the things, sources. Can't I just get it to not show up every time I enter a zone? I don't want to see it every time I enter a zone. I'll figure that out later. I'll just close it every time I see it now. Naz Dormu, it's good to see you. You look well. A lot better than you used to be. Alright, so it looks like we're going to do the Hourglass of Eternity quest again. Whoa, you're me in the future. Why are we doing this quest twice? We did this one earlier. Is something different going to happen? Crit. Crit. Yeah, we probably don't need those trinkets either. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why it's making us do this again. Maybe it's because it's a time traveling quest, so we could travel back and do it again. Oh, I see. Okay, so yeah, that is what's going on. So when we first did this, it was us with future us. This was us back then. This is past us. Past you. Now we're the future you. And this is what I was telling myself back then when I was actually playing. It says, "Whoa, you're me, but from the future. Hey, my equipment got an upgrade. Cool. Here come the infinites. You gotta keep the hourglass safe. Can you help?" It says, "It might help if you could tell me how many of these guys we're gonna fight. You can remember that, right, Grandma?" Is 1 hour older than previous self. Calls future self Grandma. Much meme. I think there's gonna be a dragon that shows up. That's all I can tell you. Oh look, see? There's a dragon. I knew it. Hey, past self. Don't forget to cast your Light's Judgment, because that's what you did the last time you fought this guy. The last time you fought this guy. Dun dun dun. Wave. What the heck? Northrend is up here.
Done.
Yeah, yeah. Cool story. Let's go back and turn this same quest in. I feel like I'm being pulled away through time. Thanks for your help. I always feel that way. I feel like I'm being pulled away through time right now. I'm now in the future. And that's currently the present. But now that's the past. But wait, we're in the future again. Okay, so hopefully they don't send us to do that again. I think if I remember correctly, this is the part where we go to the west. The Wild West.
Need help?
Dun 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 dun.
We meet again.
Alright, so haste, crit strike, spell power crit. Let's go with that one. Even though it doesn't matter, we got our bind on account.
Have we done this before?
Yes, we have. A few times on a couple different characters, actually. Alright, so we're going to head over to Naxxramas. Around about that area. That which creates can also destroy. We're going to weaken Tugrid the Vile and weaken Overseer Deathgaze. And that's using the Seeds of Nature's Wrath we got from the Emerald Dragon Shire. And I believe this will then start to send us up to the Ice Crown Gate, where we're going to get to see who will become the Lich King after Arthas gets destroyed. Mitor Kulturas has gone offline. I think that's Tazesh. We got our buddy Tazesh. He's I think he's either the co-GM or the GM. I don't know. He's an officer, that's for sure. At the very least. He gave me a promotion yesterday. I got promoted to member. I guess because I'm active and I'm leveling a character, and I'm like trying to go out of my way to talk to people. Kind of like around that, centric around that idea I was talking about earlier with the guilds and what they've become and what they used to be and what they could be and all that stuff. A lot of it's just your community. Yeah, man. He was coming at me. Had to make him tiny. You done, son. Alright, so now we need to get the Overseer Death Gaze. We'll bust out of the roof. Look at what we did. We just damaged this whole building by mounting up inside of it. I know it was like that. I know. Don't stifle my imagination, stream. We got a ore down here. I do try to kind of like, if it's along the way, if I see the ore, I'll grab it. But I have not been actively farming it. It used to be whenever you did things like mining and skinning and stuff like that, you used to get these perks in your general tab. If you were a miner, you got stamina. So if you were a max level miner, I think you got like 500 or maybe 50 extra stamina from mining. And then like a skinning person from leatherworking, or skinning actually from collecting leather, you got crit strike. As an herbalist, when you did your herbalism and you collect flowers and all that stuff, you would get a heal. I forget what it was called, life bloom or life blood or something like that. And it was like a little extra hot that you could put on yourself. It like healed for an amount initially, and then it would heal over time after that. Here's the Overseer. We'll plop down here, give him some of this. He's weak. We're going to wait for him to shrink. Now we're going to start DPS.
Well done.
Otherwise, we're just kind of wasting damage into his bigger health pool. But yeah, professions, they used to be pretty good for those little bonus stats. Now, it's just the higher level miner you are, the more efficiently you mine, I guess. Oh shit! That fanfare means we got a new look. Our gloves. Which is like, it's a variant of the same gloves we had, but it's just a different color. But they are an upgrade, so I will put those on. That's pretty neat though. I kind of like the fanfare that lets me know to check that item out. We haven't collected this shield yet, so we'll collect that. That's kind of cool. Alright. The rest of this is either soulbound or something we already have collected as an appearance. Yeah, I'm trying to collect as many mogs as I can. They've changed a little bit of the transmogs, I think, since I leveled back in the day. Like, I think there are some up-to-date models, or more up-to-date models, rather. Hopefully this quest sends us on to the gate. I think this is the one that sends us up where Alex Straza starts helping us out or talking to us. I'm trying to remember. I don't know if we're going to get to the rescue the Undercity quest chain though. That used to be a really cool quest chain, but I don't know if there is, if there ever has been an equivalent. We've never gotten the Worm Rest attack. Yeah. Now we have the Worm Rest tabard appearance. Level 78 in order to wear these. Most of this stuff's going to be that way. Before, you would wear these tabards and you would get rep from dungeon grinds. Kind of like I was with the Hojin tabard or the Stormwind tabard. You'd wear the tabard appropriate to the faction you cared about, and let's say you're farming these epic legs, the leg plates of bloody reprisal, or if you cared enough about the Mog here, you could slap on that tabard and run some dungeons. They had to be Wrath of the Lich King dungeons, and heroic dungeons yielded more rep per run than the normal versions did. But when you would do those things, you would get rep, and with that rep you could purchase those items once you get to like Exalted. It took a long time. A lot of those that I went out of my way for I would just get the ones that either had the crafting recipe I wanted, or even the, I don't know if we should head up here. I think we need to do the Winter Guard Keep. We might need to do Star's Rest, but I think Winter Guard Keep's going to be the one that leads us up to the gate, I guess. Which would make sense because it's the dragons and the Alliance that show up at the gate. And the Horde does too, but I'm more interested in the Alliance side of the story at this point. But yeah, those tabards, I would do those tabards for sure back in the day. I would go out of my way for Ebon Blade specifically because Ebon Blade would give I think a shoulder enchant or something. This guy's going to be a quest later on. Kind of just want that ore. I don't want to aggro him. Because if I do have to come kill him, I'd rather him be up. Alright, so Winter Guard Keep. Maybe these will give me stuff. Look, this is what I was talking about. These guys with the hooves, man, they're really good mountain climbers. I'm telling you, Daydream could probably scale a mountain like nobody's beeswax. Alright, so we'll get cracking on these quests.
What can I do for you?
The hills have us. Chromie considers me a whelpling. I wonder why.
Be careful.
Oh, no, no, no. Stop. No. Leave vehicle. Jeez. He was trying to send me to Grizzly Hills. I felt violated. I know I'm high enough for that now, but I want to see these, I want to see the story over here.
Greetings.
I might have to reload UI if I want to get rid of that.
Have a good one.
There's an achievement in the game right now. If you're into titles, they have a title Time Lord. In order to get the Time Lord title,
Honor, friend.
you have to get a certain reputation with Chromie. Ooh, I'm glad I've seen these guys.
My, you're a tall one.
I need to repair. I need a repair vendor. I think even in here, we probably don't need to repair as much as we need to sell. Where are the vendors? Hello? Who works at this fine establishment? This is an inn. Like, how do I get a room if nobody's here? This is ruining my immersion. Okay. Vendor or anything. Here, let me just townsfolk. I usually track the repair vendors anyways. There is a quest up here. Maybe we'll see a vendor over yonder. He's inside. Oh man, these castles. The new castle layout. Ah! This castle's layout hurts my soul. I'm phased. I think that's what it is. I think I'm phased. Oh no, he's outside. I think it is a phase thing though. What's happening here?
Hey
Hey there. Okay, my old enemy, High General Abindus, has come to Northrend. Somehow survived the attack of Tyr's hand. And we'll get some weapons. Okie doke, if you say so. Now, what else? There was another quest over this way, I want to say. This way. We're still tracking vendors, the repair vendor. I don't guess there is one around here. Go now, Daydream. Speak with Rodney, Griffin Station. Let him know you're on a mission. He'll put you on a... Okay, so this guy's trying to send me to Star's Rest. Stars Rest is the Kirin Tor's representation out here. I think we're going to go off to the east where Nax is in a sec. And it looks like we're getting sent to Hearthgland as well. Hey, buddy. Yeah, I just wanted to turn this quest in. No, I don't actually want to go to Stars Rest.
Be careful.
Yeah, I don't want to go to Stars Rest. Exit vehicle! Let me out of this thing! I can't get off of it. No! Let me off! Sad face. I guess we're gonna have to, oh, that's cool. The repair vendor here, it actually shows what she looks like, so I know what to look for. Oh, and there's a little Tuskar town down here too. If I remember correctly, this is where you get like fishing reputation. I actually have a pretty beast fishing pole on my Druid Epic Pro. He did the fishing for my Horde tunes. I got pretty high with it too. The fishing pole, I remember, actually did more damage than my main hand weapon. It had more DPS output than my main hand weapon did. So for a long while I was DPSing with the skull, and it was like a blue skull fishing pole. It was pretty hilarious. I'd join a group and beat the crap out of stuff with a fishing pole. Nobody messed with Epic Pro back in Wrath. I think that's the expansion that I rolled and leveled him in. Kind of like I'm doing with Daydream here in Legion. I care less about cloth items. Don't care very much about that item either. A belt. This is a 5.4 and a 4.0. No, thank you. Don't need that belt. Or this shoulders, because I already have these shoulders. Shadow Seeker's pendant here. Don't need that neck. What else can we get rid of? Potions? I don't think I need potions. I'm going to vendor them. At some point I'm going to sell this enchantment, but I still haven't made it to a major city. I think we're even going to sell Shovel Tusk Soup. Maybe we'll hold on to that. It does have our main stat on it. Feathers are not useful anymore, I don't think. They used to be super useful. It used to be the... Now it's a crafting reagent. I didn't know that. It used to be feathers sold really well just because the mages could slow fall if they had feathers. But now I don't think they need the feathers anymore. I think it's just free for them to slow fall. About 40 gold for Shovel Tusk. I don't know. We'll hold on to it. We'll test it. We'll test the waters in the market and see how that sells. Somebody's selling them if they're selling for 50 gold though. I didn't want to come to Stars Rest, but since we're here, we might as well do these quests, because at some point we're going to unlock that Ice Crown quest chain. Maybe we have to do all these prerequisites first. Alright, we're looking for Blighted Elix's Corpse Cleansed and Rabid Grizzly's Corpse Cleansed. So we're killing Elec and Grizzlies. Here's 2 of them. Come to me. Oh wait. If I remember correctly, I think I want to be... I know it sounds weird, but I think I actually want to be diseased when I fight these guys. Let's see if I can show you why. Inflicts 315 nature damage every 3 seconds, but increases your crit chance and your crit damage by 30%. So yeah, that's why I want to be diseased. Because you get increased crit chance and increased crit damage. And that's like a so nice. Off I go then. Let's see if we can get a little group here. Give it to me. Watch this. Kamehameha! Kamehameha! Oh, no, you don't. So that was interesting. Pulling multiple of those is hurting quite a bit. Let's put our Blessing of Kings and Blessing of Wisdoms on. How about that? Those blessings there will one gives me an absorb shield for 1150 damage, and the Greater Blessing of Wisdom will give me mana and health per second. And you'll see that start ticking off to the left here when I'm in combat. I'll start taking some damage. And the moment I do start taking damage, you'll start seeing some heals pop off from my Blessing of Wisdom. And they're minuscule, like they're really, like, not really that big a deal. 28, 29. We had 28 and 29 health per tick. Which, when you have 14k, 28 and 29 health isn't really that meaningful. It's just like 1% of your health. Which is, I guess, I mean, what the move advertises that it does, so it's something. So this guy, Percival, he's right above me right now doing the Naxxramas quest chain. Actually, not on this side of the continent where I'm at now, but where I was, he was right above me. Yeah, done, son. I don't think I could get into Nax until I hit like
Well done.
70. At some point, I'm probably going to want to go back and get some Mogs, though. And doing those old dungeon runs like that is the best way. Because it's almost guaranteed loot. It's a guaranteed shot, at least, at the loot that you want when it comes to Mogs. And I remember Nax specifically had a lot of great ones. I'd want the, there's a shield, a really big ass, like, frosty shield. And then there's the sword. It's like the generic Lich King sword that comes from that as well. Wrath, Naxxramas, loot. This is filtering specifically for the warrior. I don't know if I'd want to, maybe the paladin? Yeah. So, Demise, pretty legit two-hander. I don't really care as much about that mace. Death's Bite was a big deal back in the day. Here's Slayer of the Light. This is the knockoff, like, generic Lich King sword I was talking about. Aegis of Dead Nation, that's not really as much. But this is the shield I was talking about. The Skull of Ruin. So that combo looks really cool. And that shield used to be huge, I remember. On the back of my Blood Elf. Looked kind of crazy. So, yeah, there's some decent Mogs in Nax. They have these chests. Kind of just like a generic blue wannabe Death Knight-esque looking kind of thing. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I'd really care for in Nax. Reagents and supplies. May you'll find what you'll seek. BOE chest, or leggings rather. I think I already have this appearance, so I'll just vendor that. It'll tell me in big blue letters, you have not collected this appearance, if I don't have it.
What brings you?
Repairs, actually. Alright, moving on. Let's go do this Moonrest Garden plans. I think I just got to kill random stuff in the area. First time go. Let's see if it's going to happen. Give it to me. Give me what I want. Or maybe it's from this lady. Her personal effects. Oh, yeah, it's looting. Destroyed magic item. Okay, so looting these bodies is going to give me what I need.
Well done.
Well done. That was pretty easy. Second time go. All these trees, man. I very much prefer a wide open, like, plainsy place. Which is probably why I've never really liked questing where the night elves tend to hang out, because they're all about them trees.
Farewell.
The branches and the leaves just get in my way. I don't like it. Let's go get the functional cultist suit. Kill cultists. Okay, so there's a village up here. We'll kill the cultists and get a functional cultist suit. Oh, right, these bats. The Anub cultist. Such a noob. Get out of here. Get off of me. Okay, bring your friends. I don't mind. Bow. Get some light's judgment up in you. Hello. Well, Vortex Tornado Storm, aka Divine Storm. Come a little closer, my dear. You're not gonna get that off on me. What's he got? Zeal increasing casting speed? Nice. It's poison. I'm poisoned. Cleanse. Oh, favor of Zangus. Alright, so got a little extra quest there. Need more cultists. The snow is just rocking my FPS right now. Very much fluctuating because of the snow. If I remember correctly, these guys are kind of a pain. The Shadow Raiders. Here's a cultist. A dungeon, don't mind if I do. Oh no! It's kind of demoralizing when you wait for 40 minutes for a dungeon and then it just does that. You're like, oh! I can't remember if it's done a queue tease like that again, or earlier. I can't remember. But I think it did. I think it did a little queue tease like that a little earlier. Off I go then. The Anub cultist. You're such a noob. Nah, bro. He got it off, but still stunned him anyways. Got that interrupt. Well done. Alright, let's move on. We'll head to Star's Rest. I do want to do these over here, but I don't know if they're necessary. I want to get up there. At some point we get led up there. We will get quests taking us that way. It's been so long, I can't remember exactly what needed to be done. Ishnu Daldia.
May the stars guide
That's what they do.
you. Elude light your path.
Illume light your path. Okie doke. Now we'll head up north and we'll kill High Cultist Zangus. Why is he just out here out in the middle of everywhere? I don't think he is out here out in the middle of everywhere. Maybe there's like a cave, or I don't understand. I have dreamt the Zangus before without the context you discovered, new to me, brought clarity. You know your target, Daydream. If there's to be an end to suffering, land of the high cultists might die. Okay, you have brought clarity, a vision of the goddess bestowed upon me. I now know it can be done with a pit. Within the pit of Narjan to the north. Okay, so probably could have guessed I needed to go in here. But yeah, just head this way, over yonder. And a stun. Off I go then. And a slow. Don't have anything for you, but this guy. Hey, what's up, guy? You want some of this jelly? Wow, this guy is so... He's so beef. Thank you.
The light thanks you.
The light thanks you. In case you were wondering what I represent, that's what I represent. So this dude, he's doing his thrash at like a 50-yard range or something right now. I think it's the bracers. Increases the damage dealt and radius of thrash by 25%. So yeah, he's got a huge radius on his thrash. He doesn't have to actually get near anybody. He can just thrash from across the map. And things over here by Winterguard Keep are probably dying from that thrash. Trees and leaves, excuse me. It could be just how big this mount is probably making it a little bit more troublesome. This is the chest we just got. A waist, a plate waist. Oh, that's a nice skin. Da -da 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 -da. Nice. Alright, I'm gonna get the horse out because I think that Antoran Charhound is probably just too big. Prevent the Accord, Wind Trader Mufa's remains, and the Scales of Goramash. Hopefully it just is immediately apparent what needs to happen, because I don't remember this. Do I need to go up? No, right? It's down here. Oh right, I think I do remember this. Not that well, apparently. Here's Goramash. I don't remember this actually, but I don't mind murdering a dragonkin. I try to pick the target that has the most health when I'm casting Light's Judgment. It's very easy to just waste that cooldown on something that you're targeting that you kill. Kind of makes me sad when it happens. I think that these are going to be a playable race. These mummy type dudes, I think at some point they're going to allow us to. Because if they're giving people the Vulpin, the fox skinned people, I'm almost sure that we're going to be able to be ethereal. I mean, if you look at the shaman, for example, the enhanced shaman, I think even elemental, I think elemental does as well. They have I think it's a 2 or a 3 minute cooldown that they use that actually shifts them into an avatar of the elements, and it's essentially the same stance and model that the ethereal dudes are, where they're like kind of like arched off to the side and they're like caster types. It'd be interesting to see that, because I wouldn't imagine those guys ever really... Well, I guess they are melee, come to think of it, because if you see any of the BC raids, or the BC dungeons, like Mana Tombs, I think Mana Tombs. Yeah, Mana Tombs. Maybe Sethic Halls. I can't remember if Sethic Halls actually has them. But those type of dungeons have a lot of those mummy dudes. I want to call them ethereal. I can't remember if they're called ethereal. but there are some melee versions of those guys. My initial thought was like, oh, those guys are only casters though, but I think there are melee versions. Come a little closer, my darling. Come a little closer, my dear. Gather round, children. Uncle Ricky has a story to tell you. Ragaga. We're waiting on a healer. I think what happens is them healers get that old kingdom and they're just like, fuck this. they don't queue. If I wasn't trying to finish this zone, I'd queue heals. I ain't scared. I ain't afraid to queue heals. Queue heals right now if I want to. I actually haven't healed a whole lot on Daydream. Like hardly at all. Maybe one dungeon. It's just so, well, I was gonna say boring, but I guess if I healed a dungeon like Old Kingdom, it probably wouldn't be boring. But I think that if I'm not tanking or healing, I'm often 30 to 50% of the group's damage in most dungeons I run if I'm tanking or healing. So in my head I'm thinking it's probably going to take longer to run a dungeon if shit's not dying as fast. Of course, I do become a little bit of like a DPS pally when I heal. Maybe I'll show y'all an example of that after I finish this chain. Well done. Alright, so the object on the surge needle observed. Let's put this and this. Take these guys out. It seems like the leveling, the level scaling has adjusted a little bit. Because I'm not just two-shotting stuff now. It seems like it's appropriate for about where I'm at. Oh, okay, so it puts me up here. Alright, so what happens here?
Well done.
Oh, I'm just here to see that that's going on. Man, these, I think it's just the snow, actually. I think the snow is just nuking my FPS here. I could probably scale the weather effects down. I don't know if, advanced, maybe? Yeah, I don't know what exactly is controlling the weather. Depth, particle, SSAO, lighting, yeah. There was a weather thing, a weather intensity. I think it was a slider back in the day that you could move. Oh, okay. I was trying to figure out why it wouldn't let me through, but I guess there's an invisible wall where those things spin. Don't get hit by that dragon. Okay, so this ethereal moon shadow guy. Hey bro, I went and did what you said. Anything else? Arcanimus. Okay, so the big voidy looking thing in the middle here. We'll take that out. We're gonna heal a dungeon though. I think it's about time. 40 minutes in queue. Jeez, it's kind of crazy. Come here, Arcanimus. Can I LOS him? Maybe he'll come a little closer. Ah! I made him evade bug and despawn. Okay, so how long is it gonna take for him to come back? Arcanimus, where are you? Oh joy. Oh, looked like somebody was fighting this dude. Here he is. Arcanimus. Okay, here we go. Now he's less bugged. Light's judgment on him. Yeah, man. You done, son.
Well done.
Omen has come online. He's a gnome death knight. That's the first time I've shift clicked at somebody's name like that, and it's worked in a long time. That used to be how you know who was who. But so often it's like, cannot perform action, add-ons interfering with your blah blah blah. It's probably LVY's fault, actually. Leveling has slowed down quite substantially for me. I think it's because the dungeon queues, actually. When I was getting the like 20-30 minute dungeon queues, it was just like questing, bam, dungeon, 5 quests knocked out in the dungeon, back to questing, bam, dungeon, 5 quests knocked out in the new dungeon. So like you can get this nice little groove all the way up to like, I guess 65. And then like in Northrend, where they were expecting people to be flying, you got these quests that are like, head to this side of the zone, do this quest. Head to this side of the zone, turn it in. Head to this side of the zone, do another quest. Head to the other side of the zone, turn it in. And a lot of that, while it makes the world feel bigger, and I guess a little bit more intimidating, I think is supposed to be like the goal. It's just very much a lot of travel. Alright, what are we doing here? Ley line focus information retrieved. I guess we just get that by clicking on it or something. Another thing to consider too is my item level is, well, 893 or 89.3. I got 60 level 60 items, some 99 items. It looks like the standard is about item level 99. And I'm about 10 item levels under the curve. If you look at BOAs as an example, I guess. So that too, that affects kind of like your damage output and your survivability. So that's actually one of the things I like about level scaling is how you can be weaker and shit can be a little bit harder. Okay, so what do I do? Is there something I'm picking up from people? Ah, there was a ring I picked up. Whoops. Okay, so how's that?
Well done.
There we go. Alright, let's get out of here. There's another piece of candy off this way. This is good though, because I can get like some real rotation in here. I'm gonna get this ore before I accept that queue. Oh no! I think it's the tank or the healer. They're like, if they're not gonna instantly accept, it's not worth my time. I don't know, I just try to imagine. It's like the story I told myself. The people that are queuing. I think the healers get scared. They're like, oh shit, it popped too fast. Like, I think I need more time. I guess to be fair, that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm like, oh, I can wait and queue as a healer in a minute. But I know it's going to be instant once I queue.
Farewell.
I very much like to get to the Ice Crown. Level 66! Dun, 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 dun. I don't think anything happens at 66 though. Yeah, I don't get any moves. I don't get Retribution until 70. But Avenging Wrath's the big one I'm waiting for. You also have at 75. So we're going to see Retribution before we see the next tier of talents. 90s whenever I actually get movement speed increased. Ooh, Violet Hold. I think they reworked this. I think it's more bearable. what's cool too is in Violet Hold we can get some quests knocked out, or a quest knocked out, and some leggings. They're gonna be blue-ish leggings. We've already got some. Activate the crystals when we get in trouble, right? Okay. So shit starts hitting the fan. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different crystals. We can. These are our get out of jail free cards. There are certain bosses where you want to save those, but I think you get an achievement for not using any at all on heroic. Portals opened. 1 of 18. Hello. Looks like the lock was saying hi. Goldilocks. Let's see if we got to take a shot if y'all are playing the drinking games. We got a Gnome Warlock, a Void Elf Monk, that's 1 shot, Human, and a Void Elf Priest. So, take 2 shots if you're playing the drinking game. For every Void Elf Priest we see, you got to take a shot. Or every Void Elf we see, you got to take a shot. And then also we were taking a shot for every Void Chocobo we saw. But we've seen less of those since we've gotten flying. Can I hop over? No, won't let me. Kamehameha! Kamehameha! Ragaga. Yeah, I'm a lot weaker. I feel weaker. But monks are actually really strong too, though. Once they get Fist of Fury, it's like, that's GG. The monk is the damage dealer in your party at that point. We gotta get up on the charts every 2.5 minutes with Light's Judgment, though. I really can't wait for Avenging Wrath. Wow, he got knocked off. Huh. Did he use Transfer Transcendence? Let's do it. It looks like the pace of the portals is pretty on par so far. I think after the bosses, that's where the time sync comes into play. Ooh, let's buff our party. We usually like to give the heals the wisdom and the tank the kings. I'm gonna wait for an AoE pull to use my Light's Judgment. And I want at least 3 mobs. I'm not gonna do it with the 2. Oh, or a boss. A boss is a good thing to use it on. Oh, it's the chicken. Oh no. The chicken boss. If I remember correctly, he comes with ads as well. Yeah, so we'll use our Light's Judgment when they get grouped. There was something to these bosses, like, he did something fancy, I forget what. Light's Judgment! The I win button every 2.5 minutes. You got a chain heal off, he casted that really fast. I'm gonna wait for the next chain heal. Oh, right, he enrages. Can't stun him. There's a global cooldown wasted on that stun attempt there. Someone dinged. Grats. Grats. Grats! If I can spell anything. Cyanagosa. Cyanagosa. I always called her Synagosta, but or Synagosa, but I guess she's cyan colored, so Cyanagosta? Or Cyanagosa rather? Jeez. Come one, come all. Attend the Dark Moon Fair. There's a lot of cool stuff that happens at the Dark Moon Fair, but I'm not really much one for that type of stuff. I don't even know what I'm missing out on, really. I think it's just Dark Moon Fair cards and pets and like appearance stuff. I won't go out of my way for things like that. Yeah, the portals are right on par now. They're spawning pretty consistently. There used to be a lot of downtime between bosses and portals. We got 8 more portals to go. I guess the kind of idea here with this dungeon is this is a prison, and kind of like where I am in the quest chain out in Dragonblight is where you get introduced to the Kirin Tor, and the Kirin Tor are kind of like the prison guards, and the prison specifically designed for I guess creatures with some kind of a magical affinity, so they put them in these like magical barriered prisons. And while the blue dragonflight's being corrupted through like Malagos, he ends up being a raid boss. He starts instructing all of the dragons of the blue dragonflight to come in here and release these prisoners for some reason. And it's the Kirin Tor's job as prison guards to keep these guys locked up. So as the adventurer, as the hero, they invite you to come help them, and that's what Violet Hold ends up being. It's like prison break, but we're trying to like keep everybody back. We're either going to put them back in their cage or we're going to kill them. And as an adventurer or a hero, it's usually shoot first, ask questions later. We'd much rather just destroy the enemy before we actually try the diplomatic approach. Alright, hopefully the tank knows he needs to kite this guy, because these little portals that this guy's spawning are going to get out of hand. Of course, we're hitting hard enough to where it probably won't matter. But yeah, those spheres on Heroic, that's a wipe. As soon as that thing starts getting close enough to hit people, you're done. Or it used to be that way. I guess we'll find out when we get to Kata or Mop. We'll start seeing the heroic version of these. Oh yeah, it still hits really hard. Had to pop a defensive coolie there. Oh shit, we got a new Mog. It's just a variant of the same model of gloves that we've seen before. But still, pretty cool, pretty cool. There are a lot of people farming Nax right now. They did earlier. I think it's probably one guy who's farming on multiple people. If I would have noticed that guy, I would have rather Divine Stormed right there. Missed that opportunity though. Next portal's right here. I don't know where the monk's going. Oh, he's just gonna zap. He's gonna use the things. It's all good. It only took like a bit of their health though. Can't help but wonder if that was kind of wasted. I guess if you don't use them now, you don't get a chance to though. Every time I get 2 dots, you guys kill everything. Dang. We got a Destro lock. I think Destro is getting some love in BFA. I actually just saw a video up of, I don't know if you guys heard of Pyromancer. He's like a tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theory WoW content creator guy. He's got a video up that I still want to check out. My cousin linked it to me in Discord on the Destro Warlocks. Casters without haste is awful to begin with. Oh, I see. Ah, I see. I'm pretty much hasted out myself. Goldilocks. They've got the haste token. Oh, they got the same issue that I had where their BOA gear is only level 60. They've upgraded their chest though. Ah. You gotta upgrade them BOAs though. It's expensive. I spent like 10K yesterday upgrading these. Yeah, the Warlock's got level 60 bind on account gear and they're level 66. So that's probably why they're having an issue right now. The Hall of Explorers in Ironforge. You talk to the Heirloom Curator. Happy hunting. So they didn't even know they could upgrade their gear. But yeah, the Hall of Explorers and Ironforge, heirloom crew. Thank you. Thank you for the party. I gotta turn the quest in. I don't know if anybody else did, but I actually had the quest, so I'm gonna turn that in right quick. So that Warlock didn't even know they could upgrade their gear. That sucks. They've been playing 6 levels like that. And this is a new Mog here. And it's the same as our gloves. It's just another variant of that same kind of Mog. I guess we can leave this now. Pink Rose says, "Hi Elude, how's you doing today? Sorry I'm so late, I've been busy." No worries, Pink Rose. It's all good. I still try to show up and make the videos anyways. Y'all can always rewind. Even while I'm live, you can rewind and watch it from the beginning if you want. I actually recommend that. Like, I would do it that way even if, like, I watch, like, the Joe Rogan podcast sometimes, and if he's talking to somebody interesting, what I'll do is I'll rewind his live stream and I'll actually set the playback speed to 1.25 so you can kind of like catch up a little bit, but you could also like devour the content a lot faster. It's something like people can speak 200 words a minute, but you can hear 500 words a minute. So I have no problem with just kind of increasing the speed on some playback on videos that have content I'm curious about. And that's also how I watch my streams. Like, whenever I finish a stream, sometimes I'll go back and rewatch it and like cut out long periods of AFK or something like that by just scrubbing through it at 1.5 times speed or 1.25. I find 1.25 is perfect for like kind of chill like viewing, but 1.5 is a bit faster, almost like a little too fast sometimes. It's interesting too because I'll listen to music videos like that sometimes. If I'm like working out or something, I'll have a playlist on YouTube I'll listen to, and I'll put that at 1.25 speed, and it like hypes up the song a little bit more. The tempo's a little faster. Some music you can't do that with though, like that electronic stuff and all that. What do they want me to do? I gotta strengthen this thing? But how? Lightforged Draeneiaie, some corrupted, avoid however treants, immune to magic, sleeping through the as the treants that are fed. Oh, okay. Ask the treants for their bark and feed. Where did it go? Is this the wrong one? No, yeah. This is the one. Ask treants for their bark and feed it to the ancients. So let me ask this treant. Hey, can I get your bark, bro? Please? I need to feed it to the ancients. Oh, this guy hits kind of hard. Okay. I guess I have to actually ask these treants. These are the ones I think they're talking about. Hey, can I have your bark? Oh. Breaking off a piece of its bark, the Woodlands Walker hands it to you before departing. Nice. Why, thank you, buddy. So now I can come over here and I could say, hey, I got some bark for you. And that undizzies this guy. Or undisorients him, I guess. Yeah, okay, he's good. Here's another dizzy guy. Is there a little treant patting around here? I'm gonna start kind of trying to work my way towards that glowy ring. He's being guarded, so is that guy actually though. Maybe we can get 2 for the next couple. He doesn't want it. He's angered by your request and attacks. Look, man, we don't have to do it this way. Still got the bark anyways. Yeah. Oh shit. Oh no. Please don't kill me. Don't die. Just survive. Yeah, today's episode, most of what I was ranting about was guilds, the state of guilds in the game right now, and what I kind of hope for whenever they implement Battle for Azeroth. I really think that the communities feature, the communities features rather, that they haven't really specified very much about, may address some of that, like the guild kind of stuff that's kind of been needing a look. But I was going on about how, like, what guilds used to be like and what they are like now and what you can expect from a guild whenever you join one now, and excuse me, just kind of like the state of the game as far as guilds are concerned currently and what I wish it could be. And some examples I gave for comparison was like what guilds used to be like. Like in vanilla, there were a few really good guilds that I joined that without any incentive or any direction or anything like that, like from the outside, like they kind of just made up what they thought a guild was. There were some pretty good ones, and how guilds in their current state very much seem like, I don't know, they're just like an extra chat. It's just the green chat now. You get the achievements, you can say grats, and maybe that starts a conversation every once in a while, but other than that, like, there's really no incentive to be active in your guild communities. You can kind of just join and get the passive perks, and they can get more perks from the people that they keep adding. I think I gotta kill people in the area. You wouldn't happen to have a ley line focusing ring? This focus wizard probably does, actually. Alright, you're the one casting schmutz on me, so I'm gonna lights judge you. Did I get one? No, I didn't. I don't know if it just drops off of any of them or if it has to be the focusing guys. It would make sense for the focusing wizard to drop the focusing ring. Are there any more? No, there's just mage hunters. This snow is nuking my FPS. I'm really sorry. You wouldn't happen to have a ley line focusing ring, would you? How about you? Alrighty, how about you? I think it's just the wizards, and it's not 100% drop rate. The focus wizards. Let's get Lieutenant Tanzini. You shouldn't have taken the boat north. Oh, wow. He says, Hathrakul nor la gugakula kek. He said kek. Okay. Oh, wait, I did get the ley line focusing control amulet. So, I think it was the Tanzini guy that dropped it. If we gotta do this again, we'll keep in mind we need to watch for the lieutenant types. I gotta remember to buff myself as well. Okay. Hopefully this will wrap up most of what we have to do with the Star's Rest. Pink Rose says, my demon hunter is not in a guild at the moment. Yeah, like, you don't need one, right? You don't really need a guild to get stuff done nowadays either. You could just random dungeon find or LFG. The pre-made group finder is really good though. Like that's something I don't think I could live without now that they have it. Because there's so much like, if you haven't the gear to do something right in front of you, you can just really quickly and easily get a group through random dungeon finder or pre-made group finder. Like the invasion points is a good example where you could use that. Obviously, like the world bosses and even the world quest kind of mobs you gotta kill. Soulbound, Soulbound. I just want to make sure I don't sell anything that I don't have the appearance collected on. Soulbound, yes. Soulbound. If it's Soulbound, then that means I have it already in my transmogs. Very good, very good. We have this whistle, and I thought for a second I had the Flight Master's whistle, but that's not the case. Oh my goodness. All I wanted to do was get up there towards Icecrown. I think Winterguard Keep, these quests in like Hearthglen and over here are the ones that take me up there. I don't think any of this Kirin Tor stuff is lending itself to the gate of Icecrown. I wanted to try to get that cinematic before I hopped off for the day, but it's like 30 minutes until 11 and I don't know if I'm gonna make it. My FPS is really bad right now too. Might have to do like a reboot or something. Mage Commander Evenstar. He's a Belf? It's a dead Belf. He doesn't look very happy either. Can't really get a good angle on him. Why won't you die? I hope they do something with that action cam too. That's another thing I'm kind of looking forward to with Battle for Azeroth. The communities and the action cam. Leyline focus information. Okay, so this is what happened. He tried to come down here and get his focus on, but ended up dying. He probably drowned. These corrupted ragers are probably to blame as well. Alright. Azure Dragonshire observed. Let's go that way. It's the snow. It's this freaking snow is nuking my FPS. Don't do it to me, snow. Don't play yourself. Get out of my snap, snow. I got the selfie camera so I can Snapchat. I had a woolly mammoth parade going on in Dalaran that I took a selfie of yesterday, Pink Rose. I think I actually might still have it here. Browser source, yeah. So this was going on in Dalaran yesterday. I'm standing there and there's this parade of woolly mammoths just walking by, and they were just doing laps around Dalaran. It was pretty cool. It was a good excuse to use my selfie camera. I was all proud that I got it yesterday. I had the quest since I made the Allied Races, because the Allied Races, like right there where they first spawn in, there's that quest for the selfie camera, and then I remember reading the patch notes that it was implemented. So I just went ahead and flew around Stormwind and gathered the materials to make it. It was really easy to get. Pete Vega says, "Hi Elude." What's up, Pete Vega? How's it going, man? Welcome to the stream. Oh shit. Pete Vega, you like to come in right here towards the end, man. Normally the last 30 minutes of the stream. I was talking all today about these the guilds that you join nowadays, and how it's just really essentially just a green chat. It's just trade chat, but it's green, and how you don't really know your guildies, and how old guilds you used to actually get to know people, kind of like we were in the Stalwart Vanguard. Like we actually used to go out in the world and meet each other and do stuff. And before these perks and stuff were implemented, like the hasty hearth and all that stuff, you would join a guild just to have like a group of like-minded individuals that had the same focuses in the game as yourself to run with. But now it's like less that. Now it's more just like an extra green chat, and almost every alt that I've made, like I've only joined the guild just to get the increased mount speed, the reduced cooldown on your Hearthstone. Like these kind of perks, they incentivize you to just join a guild without actually trying to participate or wanting to participate in their community and like what they're involved in. You'll have people often like with this divided focus where some are doing mythics, some are just logging in to do their world quests, and like it's all just this mix up, this mash of like people with different focuses in the game, and you never really have that common ground that unites you in those type of guilds. It used to be like, we're a PvE guild, we raid, and you joined that guild because you wanted to raid ultimately. Or we're a dungeon grind guild, like maybe they just liked the PvE content that dungeons offered. But then they'd also have like the PvP guilds, like the people who are just hardcore PvP, and that's why you joined a guild. And to a certain extent that's kind of still around, but you also have a lot of these just kind of like throwaway guilds that everybody just joins because the 2 minutes that they were logged in, they got that invite just out of nowhere because somebody in that guild was running the add-on that auto invites all the noobs. Pink Rose says hi Pete. Pete Vegas says hi back to Pink Rose. Pete Vegas says no one cares. Yeah, pretty much. I guess that's the verdict. But that's what I'm hoping Battle for Azeroth addresses. They're paying a lot more attention to the different groups of players and what their interests are, and I think there's still a demand for that like community aspect. And they actually have mentioned there was going to be some kind of a community's emphasis or community's feature coming up in Battle for Azeroth. So like I think it'd be interesting to see if they could resolve that or solve that issue that we're having with the anonymity. Like you random dungeon find and you don't really have to say, or in most cases nobody does say like 2 words in the dungeon, and you just kind of like grind out what you're there for and you leave. Like hopefully there's something that incentivizes players to be more actively involved in your community in game, because like there are communities around WoW like all over the internet. Like there's Discord groups and Reddit and MMO Champion and Wowhead and like all these places where players like come together. And even even I cringe to mention the WoW forums to a certain extent has people that frequent those different places. But I want to see them in game more. I want to see like somehow a way for them to integrate even in-game communities. Alright, so my FPS is kind of boo-boo and the snow's kind of ruined it, so give me a quick second. I'm going to restart my client here and just roll with a fresh FPS. I'm going to relaunch WoW. Give me a second. Hopefully that resolves my 15 frames a second I was getting just now. Give the computer a chance to cool down its processes. Calm down, buddy. Calm down. And then we're going to join another dungeon as a healer this time. We're going to see how pally healing at the lower levels performs. And I think that's going to wrap up today's stream with that dungeon. So that'll ride us out to the end here. We got Daydream, our Retribution Paladin, Allied Races Hype, Lightforged Draeneiaie with Light's Judgment. I'm going to try the DPSing thing while I'm healing and see if that works, but I don't know if I got enough in my tool set, in my repertoire as far as moves and abilities go to actually pull that off. I was trying to finish Dragonblight today so we can find this guy, this dude that took over the mantle for the Lich King. but we didn't make it through the quest chain. Maybe that's something we'll start tomorrow. It looks like we're starting it though. The Ruby Dragonshire, the last leg of this zone. But I think I'd rather run a dungeon right now. This is a little side tidbit here, if anybody cares or was wondering. Dungeon Finder, if you log back in after you log out or swap tunes or something, like right away, you'll often find that you're still in queue. And that's really cool because sometimes you get DC'd, you can't help it. But, little tidbit there. Absolution. Okay, so we got an AoE res. That's nice. That means we don't need our single target res. I'd much rather AoE res at all times because it's got a 100-yard range and you don't have to actually target who you're resing. It almost makes you wonder like what redemption's even good for at that point, because it's a 40-yard range and you have to actually target. Okay, so I think just making sure, double checking we got the right goodies on. Yes, we did a little bit with the Mog. We're able to see the Bulwark of Azeroth now. This is from Black Temple. And then we got this sword is actually a two-hander, like, or there's a two-hander version of it. And I thought it was pretty cool that I could just put it in my main hand. Alright, so we're gonna do Healer Wrath of the Lich King dungeon. Oh, well, what do you know? Insta queues. Surprise. You can either choose to be a DPS, wait in queue for 40 minutes, or be a heals and hop into a group that appears to already be in progress. Wow, we couldn't have picked a better time, I guess, to join. Alright, so what are we going to do here? We can, well, we're going to need to move this tell me when thing. Because this group here needs to be, what, like right here, I want to say? TM dubs. Ah, we need to raise it. Okay. TM dubs. You can see it's been a while since I've healed because there's this business going on. Wait. What's happening here? I don't understand. My add-on. Oh, jeez, my add-on. When we get in combat, we'll see what's going on here. Okay, so it looks like our mana bar is a little bit too low. Right there, I want to say. I don't understand how it's operating right now, so it's going to be a little bit of trial and error at first. Even higher. Wow, I got to raise it a little bit more. So grab this one and maybe like right there. Maybe that'll do it. I don't know. We'll beacon the lock, I guess. Artillery strike. Oh, heal that tank. Maybe we should do it to ourselves. Damn. We need to make sure we stay topped off too, because if we're topped off, we're transferring damage to ourselves. Looks like the Boomkin's taking more damage. Let's get up in melee range. Heal the tank. We need to fix our add-on still. Somebody's locked up. Okay, so healers are earning their paycheck, that's for sure. Alright. Heal. Some Light of the Dawn, some self-heals. Heal this guy. I don't know if a lot of people know you gotta break people out of that tomb if they get not so faceted. Hey, there's a Mog. Ooh, that's actual upgrade. I don't mind if I do. And that's a red belt. It actually kind of matches our Mog. Okay. I gotta fix Tell Me When. Heal, die, tankings. I usually don't want to put beacon on the tank, but I think I might. I normally have 2 beacons on my main. Okay, tell me when. I raised that up a little bit too high. I think it was right there. I'm gonna find out what's going on here. Hey, can I get that too? Nice! Normally if you don't tap it when they're tapping it, it disappears for everybody. Lay on hands. There we go. I usually focus the tank as well. I don't know if I can. Yeah, there we go. Usually with the tank focused, you can just easily shift heal. Alrighty. Call down a Light's Judgment. OMG. He starts taking damage though. Light of the Martyr. Maybe we'll get some Light of the Martyr instant cast heals on him. And then that'll allow us to just heal ourselves. This is interesting. It's a lot more involved. I think I like that. Our crit's not super high either though. It's a little bit more of a struggle. Man, I'm getting eaten up. It's the bombs. Get away from the bombs. Okay. Oh man, I'm gonna need some mana. I don't have any drinks. I didn't come equipped with water. I need some water. I bet you I have a spell power cologne. Attack power, attack power. Nope, don't. They like to make me dizzy, don't they? Pink Crow said laugh out loud, Elude. I still gotta move my tell me when just a tad, a smidge lower. It looks like that is what needs to happen. Boom shakalaka. Oh, boom shakalaka. Now it's almost perfectly lined up. I can deal with that. That's good. Even though it's really kind of useless for now, because it's telling us to use our artifact weapon, and we don't have an artifact weapon. Pink Rose says, you forgot water last time you healed. Yeah, it takes up bag slots, and I don't need it in any other spec. I always do that, though. To be honest, I always forget water. What is this guy getting hit with? Oh my word. Don't die, tank. We'll transfer some of the tank's damage over to ourselves. It's a lot easier healing yourself. Oh my word. People is dying. They dying. Shit, I need some mana. Why does this happen to me? Man, come on MP5. Don't fail me now. What is this? Strength? Ugh. I don't have anything that helps. Nothing. Attack power, dodge, attack power. Yeah, nothing. Nothing I could use. A sword? That's not useful for... Yeah, neither is that. Okay. Man, I need some water. My MP5's rolling though. Thank goodness for the MP5. One thing I could do to help is stun a little bit more often. I need to use my more slower casting big heals. That's my mana efficient heal. A lot of the reason why I'm running out of mana is because I'm just spamming Flash of Light. When realistically, I do have enough time to cast a long Holy Light. And then to a certain extent, some of my DPS moves are using mana as well. Luckily, this is a short run, so we're able to swing it. I'm going to save my big lights hammer for the next pull. There's a little bit more it can do in the next pull. You may see me click a little bit because my bar 2 up here is all shift, and I may actually want to control change that to control one day. That would mean I need to switch my push to talk button to the tilde key. Where the hell did I put my... Did I drop it here? Oh wow. I didn't even notice that I used my lights hammer. Just totally spaced out, I guess. Champion salute is not the one we want. Alright, those of you keeping track, this is a Void Elf with the Chocobo mount, and this is another Void Elf with another Chocobo mount. So that's four shots. Gotta take 4 shots. If you recovered from your shots earlier, you're very much probably wasted again now. Watch out for that smash! That shit hurts, buddy. Oh, Holy Light. We're gonna use our efficient heal. He silenced me. What a bastard. Big heal, big heal. I forgot about the silence. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me and my transgressions against your health pool.
Your
Here.
pathetic failure will serve as a warning to all.
Hi, chicken.
You are damned. Arise and carry out the master's will.
I stepped out into it anyways. Damn. I need to quit watching people. They don't know what they're doing. Just as much as I don't know what I'm doing here. Y'all get some of that hammer. I'm just gonna heal myself. Dark Smash. Big damage on the tank. No, don't you die. It's because we're standing in the hammer. The thing's spinning everywhere. And he's gonna silence me. Please. Heal thyself. It's so sketch city. Alright, we're gonna spam heal the tank now. We got our bubbles. Oh my jeez. Okay, I think I like that better. I think I like healing. We might just no life dungeons as a healer for now on. Hey, there's a ring. Thank you all. Sorry for my whackness. I'm gonna get some water now. I want to do that again. I'm gonna do another dungeon. I need water though. Desperate like. Real desperate like. Ooh, we're in a good spot. This innkeeper will have some water. Good day to you. May I have some water? Please, sir, can I have some water? Level 60 water. Level 70, level 70, 55, 60 is probably going to be the best we can get. The Pungent Seal Whey. Give me about 3 stacks of that. Oh, I actually did have some in my bags. Oh, jeez. What a doo-doo. Okay, yeah, this is why I actually don't use tilde for push to talk, because that's my, what you call it there. We don't need champion salute. Sometimes we might need taunt. I don't know if we'll ever have a situation where taunt's necessary, but we got it. And I gotta remember I got a divine protection defensive cooldown there. I think with that we're gonna re-queue. There's no point in having that on my bar as it heals. I think F2. Now, was there anything different we could do? I don't think Aura Sacrifice is useful unless I can actively keep myself above 75% health. I think I'm going to swap for Aura of Mercy. Light's Hammer was cool, but I think I'm going to go with Crusader's Might for now. Light's Hammer, I usually use that to cheese the damage a little bit and do some AoE heals as well. Other than Cavalier, we can use Unbreakable Spirit. I think we will. We're going to do Unbreakable Spirit because that's going to reduce the cooldown of our Divine Shield, Divine Protection, and Lay on Hands. So our 10-minute Lay on Hands now becomes a 7-minute cooldown, and we can Blessing and Protection people a lot more often and Bubble a lot more often. 3.5-minute Bubble. So that's pretty legit, actually. Okay. So yeah, let's do another go, but this time with a little bit more of an adjusted strategy here. I do like having 2 divine charges, but I'm less concerned with moving fast if I can keep people up better. Oh, no instant healer queues? Sad face. Come on, give me another one. Now that we got water, we're dangerous. Aura of Mercy is going to be nice just for like the passive healing it offers. It's like an AoE too. I guess we'll do some of this quest while we wait for the queue to pop. I'm surprised it hasn't popped already. What a re-queue. Maybe there just isn't a lot of people doing Wrath of the Lich King dungeons right now.
Can I assist you?
Can I assist you? Yeah, man, I want to get this storyline done. Let's see, J. Anybody in my level range in the guild on? It doesn't appear as though, no, it doesn't look like it. What do we need here? 8 frigid geist or geist, 12 ghouls, 1 abomination. Where are they? It's just this guy. Oh look, it's doing it again. Tell me when. I might need to re-import tell me when. There we go. Scourge leads group on the kill settlement. Go to his aid, stay behind his men, flow of Scourge is endless. Okay, so maybe I need to tell him to start. That might be why.
Hello. Be careful. How may I help? Listening. How may I help?
Okay, it doesn't matter. We'll figure that quest out later. There's always somebody. Maybe it's these guys. This is where the bones are. Is this where the party's at? Yeah, there we go. But it does tell me to stay behind his men. So... charge! Let's kill the bad guys. Both of these are just generic named NPCs. Oh shit. May have bit off a little bit more than we could chew here. Just a little bit more than we could chew. Evade. Okay. I ran this yesterday. This first boss, well, second boss actually, Hardronox, is I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna I'm gonna see before I talk shit. We're gonna find out if this is gonna be the same as it was yesterday. A lot of people don't know a lot about these older dungeons, so bosses like Hardronox can be kind of interesting to see how they play out. Man, I really get a sense that dungeoning is not fun for people right now. I think I'm gonna have to start queuing up more often in tank or heal mode. Cause those that would join, like, they're probably getting demoralized with these Lightforged Draeneiaie running around doing 50% of the group's damage. And then the tanks and the heals, a lot of people don't seem like they know exactly what's going on in these old dungeons. I mean, even I don't really understand a lot of what's changed and stuff, but it's like vaguely familiar to me at least. We'll sacrifice some of his damage over to ourselves. And you know, come to think of it, I may need to switch my gear out, because I believe the healer is more dependent on crit than they are haste. And I have almost exclusively haste stuff on at the moment. So while I'm casting fast, that doesn't help me get my infusion of the light off. My infusion of the light only happens whenever I'm critting. So I might need to, I think I have to upgrade that gear too though. So if I remember correctly, all that crit gear, that was actually what I went out of my way to do yesterday, was upgrade all this haste gear. The bind on account stuff, that is. Let's stun the guy maybe that's going berserk. Put a bubble on ourselves. Heal thyself, heal thyself. Dispel that mess. Big heal to the tank, and we'll spray heal the melee. Yeah, come on, keep pulling. We're good, guys. I can keep this up. I have water now. Moved a couple talents around, so whenever I Crusader Strike, I can Holy Shock more often. Light of the Dawn's going to be popping off. Now that I realize I can Crusader Strike to refresh Light of the Dawn rather. And Holy Shock. Crusader Strike. Another Holy Shock. Throw down a Consecrate. We got a free quick heal. Light of the Dawn. Judge this guy. Crusader Strike. Crusader Strike. Well, we actually want to make sure that... Here, let's move our buttons just a tad. We want to make sure that our Holy Shock and our Light of the Dawn are on cooldown before we Crusader Strike. Look, our bar got offset again. Why is it doing that? I actually want this right there. Crusader Strike. Crusader Strike. Burn the Holy Shock. Use the Light of the Dawn. Drop one of those. Big heal on the tank. Sack some of his damage to ourselves. Bubble ourselves so that sack damage is then transferred just into the bubble. Y'all done woke up the line. The line woke up. The healing line. Oh shit. As I say that, the tank eats it. Come on, bring it. Bring it. I'm ready. Ah. And I'll still be on the meter. Oh man, the debuffs. Hey, we got a Mog upgrade. Thank you for cookies. Thank you for cookies. Mouse Locky. I'll put that on 9. No, let's put that on 6. Now, this is what I was talking about earlier. This is going to be interesting to see how these people address this, because it's very much a problem in some situations. Let me go to my heirlooms right quick. Can I get anything that's crit, please? Intellect crit. I think I got a crit cloak on already. Quick. No! Give me intellect trinkets. Can I switch them out, please? Yes. Okay, so intellect trinkets equipped. I'm gonna want more crit strike if I can handle, or if I can manage it. You may see me click healing. It's because I'm bad. Don't judge. Normally I'm keybinds for life, but at the moment I haven't really solved my healing keybinding issue. And as you can see, I haven't really solved my tell me when issue either, because it's still overlapping. For some reason, I think it's whenever we have somebody beaconed, it goes up. I need to make it grow down. Let's stun this guy so he doesn't nuke our tank as hard. He nukes a lot less hard whenever he's stunned. Wow, we just unlocked a lot of dungeons. Oh, you know, come to think of it, I'm almost 68. I wonder if that means I can move on to Mop or Kata rather. I think I could probably just make my, well, no, it's still going to end up with the same situation where I need modifiers. I'd very much like to just hit number 5 and have that heal my focus target. That's okay though, we can get by with Light of the Dawn. Oh, okay, this group did not have the same problem. He said, wait! He's had the same problem before too. Oops, caps. Yeah, you want to stay back and away from Hardronox until he kills all those mobs. We were having issues where we were, like, in the party I was in yesterday, the group was working its way down the tunnel. And, yeah, a lot of people wipe on this part, apparently. But, yeah, they were working their way down the tunnel there, and, we were dying. Because all them mobs are still up. Okay. TM dubs. There we go. That'll do. That'll do. You usually want to wait for Hardronox to eat all the spiders. Because if he eats all the spiders... /I. Yeah, as he eats the spiders, he heals himself. And until he kills all the spiders, that's extra damage you gotta worry about. Those green clouds, watch for green clouds. Los verdes nubes son mal. I think I said that right. I don't know if I spelled that right. Oh, heal the tank, heal the tank. Transfer some of his damage over to ourselves as well. Because we can very quickly just heal ourselves. Some of that poison schmutz off of him. He was standing in the green cloud, I was just telling him. I was trying to figure out why he was eating it so fast. Well, he was standing in the green clouds. I literally just said, stay out of the green clouds. Oh, skittering gauntlets. It's an upgrade. I like that sound. Whoops. Better wait for your healer, damn it. Yeah, we gotta figure out something with our shift buttons. Maybe I'll just... I used to have it to where my top row was all click. I would click the top row. And I was trying to think about ways I can implement just quickly, like keybind using these abilities at the top, but I may actually go back to clicking on those. I guess I could do control click for that top bar, but that does something, like interferes with my mic. Nah, yeah, my push to talk on Discord is control. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll just go and control click all those. That way shift clicking or shift key binding will just then be my focus target. Yeah, that sounds good. I'll do that. I think I can dispel... Yes, I can dispel magic. Oh, that feels good. So many people ignore magic effects. So shift 2. I'd be able to really quickly heal him if I had my shit set up properly. Let's give him a lay on hands. I panicked. I hesitated. That's kind of cool. It's kind of cool that it's that serious. One thing I could do is /KB, just remove all that top row for now. And save. Save. Okay. So now my top row is no longer keybound. It's all clickies. And I could just shift heal my tank. Shift 5. Oh, KB on that. I missed 5. Oh, oh. Save. Okay, so shift 5. Group up. Damn. I guess since it's on cooldown. No, that other move's on cooldown. What's up with that? Oh, some of these. Here, let's replace that with this with this with that. And /KB. Maybe it's because I'm in combat. Hover over your mouse to the spell to bind it. Press key right click to clear it. No! I'm gonna let my party die while I'm trying to figure this out. Sorry guys. Just give me a second. I'll top you all off. Why isn't that working? Don't stand in the pound. Should speak to myself there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure these buttons out. Okay, thank you all. Thank you all. That was a lot quicker than the last time I ran this. Now we can leave this group and fix our buttons. Pete Vega says, still at it. Yeah, man, still at it. Stayed a little bit longer than I intended because I got into this healing thing. Oh my god, please don't kill me! Did I get credit for those? No. Okay, so I'm trying to get these keybinds sorted. I may need to refresh my UI. Oh no, it's letting me now. I guess now that I zoned. So this one I want to be that. That I can keep. Even these, I can make those bound that way. The stuff that's friendly though, like I really want those to not be. This one even, like, this is friendly, so I want that. But this 9, I don't mind that being bound. I don't target people with this. Shift 0. Okay, so the logic, the way it works is it's anything that I can cast on a friendly target on the bottom bar, I don't want bound on the top bar. Of course, Shift Z. Okay, that could be okay. That Shift button 10. Of course, if I could just use a mouse that way as well. Okay, I think this is good. I think where I have it right now is okay. 3, 3, 3, Shift 3. So I don't need to cast this on a friendly target. Either one of these. So if the bottom bar and the top bar aren't something that I can cast on a friendly target or a focus target, then it doesn't matter if it's shift bound. But like this one here, I would want to cast that bubble on a friendly target. So shift clicking that would be something. Trying to think. Man, this is kind of confusing actually. Okay, that's okay. I think where I have it now is a okay way. But maybe I just want to make all these key bindings control. That's what I was saying earlier, wasn't it? Alright, here. I'll teach myself the control bindings. save. So this is going to be control 1. Oh, key bindings. So this is going to be control 1, control 2, control 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, and minus and plus. So now save. That didn't work. So control equals that way works. Okay, so key bindings /KB. I want it to be this. That's what. Okay, so so control this, this, and this. Now that should work. Okay, so now I want to mount. Sweet. Okay, that's set. That's how it's gonna work now. I want to run another one actually. I want to see how this is gonna play out. Did I get any other dungeons? No, right? Okay. See, how are we doing? No. Actually, leave queue. I want to see if there's any heirlooms I can switch out, because as I established earlier, crit helps heals a whole lot more than haste. So we got a haste offhand there. This is a haste shield. This is a haste mace. Now I know I have... Can I use staves as a paladin? No, right? I don't think I can. All classes. Can I use staves as a paladin? I don't think so. Staff. Yeah, I can't use a staff, but that would have been a good source of crit. Daggers I can't use. Haste. Staff. Is there a crit sword maybe? Here's a strength and crit, but that's agility. Yeah, I don't think there's any answer to that. There's no way to get rid of the haste in my weapon. Well, actually the Devout Aura Stone hammer here has a crit strike. I might need to get that. I think I'm gonna go get that hammer. And or no, the axe. Well, if that had intellect, but it doesn't. This one does though, so dang. They didn't really think about paladins with this heirloom gear. Intellect, haste. Yeah, there's no way to get crit there. Okay, but what kind of BOAs do I have that offer crit strike? The Lightforged helmet, but it stops leveling at 60. I'm almost 70. So I would have to upgrade this Lightforged set. But there are a few items I can just pull out right now. So let's do that. Paladin. This will go up to 90. Crit strike shoulders. Don't mind if I do there. And this also goes up. This goes up to 100 actually. Oh, that's male. So shoulders. We got crit shoulders. Male crit shoulders, I should say. We're good on our cape. A crit chest. This goes up to 90. We'll do that chest. Crit haste leggings. Here's some crit strike leggings, but they need to go up further. Crit strike legs. So we're gonna need to upgrade our legs there. And that's it. Okay. So now we have crit shoulders to replace these haste ones, and crit chest to replace this haste one, and cloak, crit haste. Okay, we're good with the cloak we have. Our mace has haste and intellect, so does our shield. So what else are we lacking? Our helm. We need the helm. We need the crit helm. And I think the leggings. The helm and the leggings are the ones we're missing. We got 12 crit and 16 haste on this neck. But I think I got a crit strike neck, come to think of it. Yeah, man. Crit strike neck. Oh, no, it's strength, though. I don't have the caster one. Dang. So maybe I'll even want the caster neck, come to think of it. Of course, the one I have right now, I'll probably want to get the caster neck. Damn. Damn. Okay. So we're buying a neck, we're buying a helm, and we're buying some leggings for our heal set. That's life. Okay, so I think with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap up today's episode. We got that figured out for tomorrow. I think we're going to go ahead and get to some healing tomorrow, guys. So I appreciate y'all tuning in. This is going to conclude episode 33 of Elude Stalwart playing World of Warcraft Legion, the Lightforged leveling mini-series. If you like my streams and you want to catch me live, you can see me Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to about 11 a.m. As you can see, sometimes we run over and sometimes we start a little later. So usually if I start later, I'll put a little reminder on YouTube at least. I don't know about you Twitch guys, but if you check YouTube, you'll be able to see if I'm going to be going live a little bit later. I'll put like a little timer on there. Alright, Pink Rose, take it easy, and see you later, Pete Vega. I appreciate you guys, as always, tuning in and hanging out with me. So, yeah, so we'll go ahead and sign off here.
Walk always in the light.
Walk always in the light, folks.